Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Good show today, folks. Jessica Freeburg on the way with Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals in just a bit. But first, I got to read an exciting and very interesting book this past weekend. Model Detective, a true story of heels, handcuffs, and homicides was the book I got to read. Michele Wood is our guest today. I'll tell you, it was an interesting perspective of the Chicago Police Department, of Michele's life. And I'm going to bring her in here in a second. Let me tell you about her first, and then we'll get into her career. For 25 years, Sergeant Michele Wood has chased the truth through Chicago's most violent crimes. A homicide supervisor, FBI certified hostage negotiator, and national true crime expert. She's lived the cases most people only watch on television. Let's bring her in now and talk about this book, which was a very interesting book, I got to tell you, and gives me a whole new perspective of a lot of different things. Michele Wood, welcome in for the first time to True Crime Tuesday.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you are what we like to call second generation crime fighter, for lack of a better term. Your grandfather was in the business, correct?
Yeah, my grandfather was, he did police work. It was very different than the type of work I did, but he was the chief of police of a small town, Terry, Montana.
So getting that perspective, and you kind of got the love of it from watching him and riding around with him, correct?
Yes. Yeah, he had a blue Chevy Suburban that morphed into his squad car when he was needed for any, police activity, calls for service. So it was interesting.
Is it? Now, I'm a second generation broadcaster, so I'm going to talk second generation to second generation here. Did you get the love of it from riding around there? Was that kind of did you get it in your blood at that point, or was it later on when you started to do the police work that it really started to get into your blood there?
No, I loved it as a kid, and I think that my first experience with law enforcement was my grandfather, and from then on, like with my cousins, we would play police, and everything that I did, I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't even realize what an impact he had on my life until I actually started writing the book, because, I loved TV shows, like police TV shows and dramas when I was a little kid. It was always the stuff that I really loved. For whatever reason, I gravitated towards it. But I think when I actually started writing the book and putting all of my thoughts down literally on paper, I realized, I'm like, oh, my love actually started when I was like 5 or 6 years old in Montana.
That's really cool. You bring a lot of different perspectives to this book, that, not only just the small town Montana, but also the big city of Chicago. And I'll tell you this much. I admire a lot of what you do, because it's not easy. It's not easy at that level to do the job that you do. You see a lot of, let's just put it this, let's just be honest, the gross side of humanity, right?
Absolutely. Beyond, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine wanting to, with everything you see, just personalities, what we do to each other. I can't imagine you want to get up in the morning and want to address humanity in a nice way. What keeps you in the morning getting up and wanting to put a smile on your face and saying hi to humanity and be good to people?
Well, there's many reasons for that. When you see the worst of humanity, you also see the best of humanity, because we don't solve these crimes alone. You need help from the community. You need help from the victim's family. So seeing that part, number one, makes you really grateful every day. I wake up every morning grateful for everything that I have, because I realize how at a snap of your finger, in an instant, your life could be changed. So I think it gives you a lot of gratitude in life, and I think I walk around with gratitude. When I first started out on the job, I don't know that I had that, but as time went on, I, unfortunately, for the most of my career, 20 out of the 25 years, I've been in investigations dealing with dead people. So you realize that one split-second decision can change your life. So it just makes you really, grateful for your health, your friends, your family. And I think that's how I'm able to go forward. I do see a lot of bad stuff. I do see things that, terrible people do to each other. But I think just as much I see the other part of it, which is how people come together to help people. So I think that's the long answer to your question.
I I know I didn't want to jump into the deep end of the pool right away, but I almost have to with you, Michele, because it is there's some deeper stuff in the book, and that's kind of what drew me to the book. You talk about one of the toughest cases that you've ever dealt with, and it was a rape case, and it had to do with a Chicago police officer and his girlfriend who literally typed out that she was being raped.
Yes.
And he didn't respond right away.
Right.
And it had something to do with the fact that he didn't have his shoes on at the time. Is that what it
Yeah.
was?
So this young lady was coming home. It was right around Christmas time. And unfortunately, she encountered this person who later told us, this offender said that he was looking for a victim. So what he was doing is he was looking for what he would, perceive as someone weak that he could overpower. So he did see this girl walking down the street and he made a decision. He zoomed in on her and he said, okay, if this girl turns right down the alley, she's going to be my victim. And these are his words, not mine. So he did attack her and he brutally, this is the most brutal sexual assault I've seen in my career. And this was years ago. Still to this day, I haven't seen anything as horrific as what this guy did to this girl. And during the middle of the assault, he had broken her orbital bone. He had fractured her orbital bone. And she said, can I put snow on my face? Because it was snowing. So he allowed her to go down and pick up snow because she was bleeding profusely. And during that time, she texted her boyfriend and she said, I'm being raped in the alley. And for whatever reason, he looked at the message and, he's sitting down. It's near Christmas time. He's off. He's sitting on the couch and he looks at the phone. He's like, what? And people think things like I'm being raped, like, is someone bothering you? Are you talking about rape where, you pay too much money for something? Like just stupid things go through people's head. And he just didn't respond. Where he's like, what? And it was just, a few minutes later where he probably was like, okay, well, let me see where she is. She should be on the way home or whatever it was. She had made it home around that time and he realized that she actually was sexually assaulted. So it was no fault of his, but it was just crazy because, I get there and I'm mad at him. I'm like, what do you mean that she texted you and you didn't respond? I go, do you guys joke about this stuff often? He's like, no, never. I go, then why would you think she was joking? And he didn't really have an answer for it. But yeah, I know that's something that he probably had a really hard time with afterwards because when we showed up, he had his tactical vest on and he was a suburban police officer. But I just remember thinking, like, you got all this stuff on now. Like, what happened a few minutes ago? And, that's, I felt so terrible for this young woman and just the heinousness of the crime. But at that point, I was mad because I'm like, we could have got this guy. We could have caught him right away. And unfortunately, now there's a manhunt for this predator that, we later learned what a predator he really was. But this guy's out on the streets now and we don't have a lot to go on right now.
I read that passage in the book and I think to myself, if my lady texts me and tells me she's being raped, I throw on, if I don't have socks on, I don't care. I throw my shoes on, I grab a bat and I go run out in the back alley and I beat the crap out of the guy.
Yes. And, I'd run outside with no shoes on in the snow. Like I can't even imagine that, but it was something where he was caught off guard. He didn't understand the message. He's not really paying attention. They probably had 50 things going on getting ready for the Christmas holiday. But yeah, and that stuck with me because I had an incident when I was a little girl that was very similar to this incident. And I think that my anger might have been a little misplaced too, where I'm like, how dare you let this happen to her? And, he didn't let it happen to her. But it was an unfortunate response by him. It wouldn't have stopped what happened to her, but we might have been able, to grab him a little quicker.
I understand that, and I get where you want to. I guess I don't want to say diffuse the blame on him. I get that, and different people react different ways.
Yep.
I just know how I'd react.
Yes.
And I guess in that there's anger on my part when I read it, when I say, I don't get it.
Right. I mean, Tim, if you think about my mom with a similar incident that happened to me when I was a little kid, there's a part of the book that talks about where when I was attacked by this man, my mom picked up a shovel or a bat or whatever it was. I couldn't even finish what I was saying to her
Mhm.
before she reacted and was running down 3 flights of stairs after this person that attacked me. And the
Yeah.
fact that, you know, a similar situation where you would think someone's going to run after the person that's hurting the person that they love didn't happen. Yeah, it didn't sit well with me at that point either. Um, but then meeting him and talking to him, I did, feel bad for what he is going to go through for the rest of his life.
I, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Michelle. And I get what your mom did. I mean, I totally get it. I mean, there's a, maybe it's just my personality. And I relate to what your mom did there too. And I also relate to, I don't want to blow the entire story for people who are going to pick up the book, but that I relate to what your mom did afterwards. And that is, putting that can of mace in your hand
Yes,
and, use this, if you have to, whether you question anything or not, use it.
yes.
Um,
Yeah, it taught
because
me a lot.
yeah, because you don't know who you can trust. And that maybe that's a cynical way of living life. But I mean, and I guess this can transition into our next part of what we'll talk about here. But that is it better to live optimistically or cynically in this life? Do you feel? I mean, in your experience, having been a police officer for so long and seen what you've seen, is it better to go through life with rose-colored glasses, or is it better to be cynical?
Maybe a little bit of both. My head is always on a swivel, but it doesn't, it isn't in a way that affects me negatively. I like to think that I'm, hyper vigilant when I'm going down the street. There's things I don't do. Like I tell everyone, I'm like, I don't get gas at a gas station near the highway because I know that carjackers carjack people near highway entrances so they can do a quick escape. Like I'm well aware of all these things, and a lot of the stuff is from the police department, but some of it's from just growing up in a city and in a big city and being aware. So I do love to go to places where you can perhaps live with those rose-colored glasses. But I would prefer, my thing is always to tell women and men, but especially women, you don't have to be polite to strangers. It's more important to be safe than it is to be friendly. And I learned that the hard way myself. But I've had so many victims, specifically of sexual assault, when I was starting out as a newer detective, that, everything in these victims' bodies were telling them, like, something is off with this person. Something is off, but I'm not going to trust my gut. I'm not going to, judge them. I'm not going to unfairly judge them. And they became a victim of a crime because they put their own safety aside for the point of being polite. So I'm like, screw being polite. You
Yeah.
take care of yourself. You can always say, I'm sorry later. But yeah, and that happens a lot. I mean, I can't tell you how many times women were like, oh, I felt like someone was following me, but I didn't want to turn around because I didn't want him to think that I was judgmental, that I was racist, that I didn't like men, that I didn't like this, that I didn't like the color purple. And I'm like, no, when you turn around and you make eye contact with someone, they might be less likely to attack you because number one, confidence when you turn around and you show them that, hey, I see you. And number two, you're a witness who got a good look at them.
Yep.
So maybe they won't attack you and maybe you will be spared that day. So I think it's important to be hyper vigilant and, you can always look at the world as a happy place. But when you're put in a situation where something might be off, just trust your gut.
Yeah. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. I'd rather someone be rude to me and apologize than be, you know, than be passive,
Yes.
and not look me in the eye, or, I'd rather someone be aggressive with me than not, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And especially, women are the more likely to be victims of assault. But I mean, it can happen to men too. It's the same thing. Like if you feel like, someone's following you down the street and is going to rob you, like turn around. Also, in case something does happen, you want to be able to identify this person and see what direction they fled. You don't want to walk around with tunnel vision or blinders or anything that's going to compromise your safety.
You know, is there such a thing as um I know we talk about good neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods, and I kind of feel too like uh as we get older, we get more conservative. So it seems like every neighborhood's a bad neighborhood when you get old enough. But is there such a thing as a good neighborhood and a bad neighborhood, really, in anybody's eyes?
No, I mean, because you know what, like bad neighborhoods in Chicago would be places with open air drug markets and, prostitution on the streets and stuff like that. But you're probably more likely to be the victim of a random crime in a good neighborhood because the people that are from the impoverished areas that are, robbing people and, you know, doing whatever it is they do, um, it'll happen in a nice neighborhood. It probably will be more likely to happen in a nice neighborhood because it's going to be with people who've got a lot of money, affluent people. So yeah, I mean, there are good neighborhoods where, yeah, you don't want to walk down the street with blinders on, but you could be a target in an area like that just as much as you would be if you're walking through, a dope block or prostitution area.
It's funny you say that because I'm noticing like on the next door app in the area that I live in, I'm which is supposedly a decent neighborhood that people are like, what's happened to our neighborhood? The amount of sightings or the amount of call-ins for like burglary and these petty crimes are up, and people getting robbed on the street or even people robbing convenience stores and these different petty crimes are way up. What's going on? What's going on? Well, just as you mentioned, they come out here because well, that's where the
Right. Yeah. I
money.
mean, you're not, yeah. If you want to go somewhere where you think someone's going to have something good, you might go to a wealthier area. I mean, even in Chicago, like the area where like millionaires live, those areas are always burglarized because they do
Yeah,
know people with a lot of money might travel a little bit more, a little bit of casing. You can figure out when they leave for work, when they come home, when they go on vacation. And unfortunately, yeah, without like an amazing security system there, they too might be the victim of a burglary or, home invasion or something like that.
yeah. I mean, I don't know why people think so-called bad neighborhoods are where all the crime happens.
That's a good point. That's actually a really good point. I'm like,
Yeah,
so you want to move into a bad neighborhood?
yeah. You probably want to live in the inner city. It's but I
Yeah.
for years and years I lived in Northeast Minneapolis and I thought it was one of the safest neighborhoods I ever lived in.
Yeah.
Because
I
it.
mean, I live in the like center of the city, kind of north, but like north center of the city. And there's always stuff happening around here, but I would never, I still think I live in a pretty good neighborhood, but there's always cars being stolen and, road raging people on the main street that's by us and shootings that happen. And we always joke, I'm like, where do I live?
Yeah, it's just it's to me it's a little bizarre that so-called neighborhoods get a bad rap where you actually look at the crime rate of some neighborhoods and it's comparable to if you look at the suburbs, it's probably comparable to what's going on in the suburbs. It's just a different kind of crime.
Completely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that 100%. Like, yeah, there's not going to be drive-bys probably in the suburb for the most part, but there'll
Mhm.
be other types of crimes that, could be worse, like robberies. Someone puts a gun to your head and robs you is going to be really traumatic and it's probably going to affect you for the rest of your life, or the
Yeah,
person that does get, robbed.
right. Is there, in your experience, is there a correlation between, like, say, a robbery and a rape? Is it just a turn of the page?
No. So I have a theory that I've always said. I said all rapists are burglars, but not all burglars are rapists. Because I feel like with rapists, it starts off with, you know, smaller crimes or something like petty crimes where peeping Tom, exposing yourself. And then people like to get inside people's homes when they're not there. And it's something about the invasion of privacy and the control. And so you'll often see that people who are rapists have burglary in their background. And this doesn't mean at the same time, people that are burglars don't necessarily have that thing that's off with them to want to sexually assault someone. But in this case, that's in my book, this guy was just an opportunist. And he was going to just rob this girl. He was a robber. He was on home monitoring, which he had an ankle bracelet on. Or he should have had an ankle bracelet. I don't even remember if he was keeping it on or not. But he had just got out of jail for some pretty violent robberies. But the judge let him out and thought that, he could coexist with people, which he could not, because he's a very bad person. But he probably wasn't setting out to sexually assault someone. He was going to rob her, and he saw how she went along with everything he told her to do because she was scared and she thought he was going to kill her. And she was a very attractive girl. So unfortunately, this was his first sexual assault, but his history was burglary, robbery. And for whatever reason at that point with this young lady, he decided to sexually assault her and just totally destroy her, like beat her senselessly. And so but people like him, like I can say some people can be rehabilitated. He cannot. He cannot. He should never be out. He will be out in my lifetime, but he should not ever get out of prison because unfortunately our prisons are not made to make people better, and he'll come out and he'll probably be worse.
So I know it's a delicate question, but how can we change that? How do we change that to either make the prison system more rehabilitative or change it so that we can change sentences to put people away permanently so that they're not a danger to society?
I think a lot of people, like even people who commit homicides and murders, sometimes it's one bad mistake that put you in that situation. So I mean, I'm definitely not sticking up for murderers at all, but they might be able to be rehabilitated. If it was something that you're high on drugs and you did this, or you went somewhere and you beat someone up and, or if it's gang violence, stuff like that, I wouldn't say that those kind of, criminals can't be rehabilitated. But when you have this urge for someone who's a legit sexual deviant, I don't know how you fix something like that without some kind of medication to stop the urges, other than hoping they become a nice person. But other types of crimes, I mean, I think the prison system is set up terribly because I've had plenty of handyman and construction guys that are convicted felons that I've hired. I come in contact with all different types of people in my line of work. So to me, one decision like that, or one thing, if someone's like, I'm a convicted felon, to me, it's kind of like, well, what did you do? And if certain things, I can be like, okay, I can understand that. And even when people are like, no, I did something terrible and this is what I did. Those things, I think human beings can probably be rehabilitated, and unless you're just evil to the core. But yeah, I've got no excuses and I've got no answers for people who are legit rapists because I don't understand that at all. And because I've worked those crimes in the beginning of my detective career, I have a disdain for anyone involved in those types of cases. If it's not something like, okay, I was 17, she was 16, we were dating. I have seen people hung up on those type of crimes, and that's unfortunate because they're not looked at any different than stranger danger. So I don't think that happens as much as it did when I first started my career, because laws have changed, and I think, judges might understand those types of things. But yeah, you don't want to look at someone that was dating, someone that was a year younger than them, and now they're placed in the same category as the person that I mentioned in my book.
And it's where do you consider a serial rapist a serial rapist? How many do they have to commit before they're a serial rapist?
3.
All right. So
Yeah,
there's a clear line. All right. Just so we're clear. Serial murderer, is it the same? Is it 3?
I believe so. Yeah. Different people like FBI will, say their version of what it is, but typically for us in, city law enforcement, 3 or more is considered serial.
Okay. Do you believe that is it the same for a serial rapist as it is a serial murderer? Neither one's is able to be rehabilitated once they get that taste, they're done.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, if someone killed 3 people, they probably don't ever deserve to get out of prison. So if they're in there and they're doing something better for their life in there, that's fine. But I would never be like, yeah, this person only killed 3 people, let them out. Like, what led them to do all of that? Could that be fixed? Probably not.
Because again, I love picking your brain here, Michelle. I know they say there's no such thing as a dumb question. I may have people screaming at me right now through
No.
audio or video. Um, but I just love to get this opinion from you. When you see a prisoner, let's say a serial murderer, and you see them on TV and they're saying, I found Christ, or I found religion, or I found a better way. Does that scream con job to you?
Um, Sometimes, not all the time. I do think sometimes people might, find Jesus or Allah or whoever it is, but I don't think that makes them any more deserving of freedom. I've dealt with a lot of serial killers. I actually went and interviewed a serial killer about 2 months ago, and this guy's a con, and he's probably committed other murders. And the reason I went to talk to him with two of my detectives is because we think he's involved in other cases. But this guy is bad to the bone, and he every time I talk to him, because I've gone out and over the last 15 years, I've talked to him one, two, three, 4 times. And he writes me letters. He writes me these creepy, weird letters. But, I figure before I retire, I'm going to at least try to get some more information out of him. But he always tells me, Michelle, I'm going to pray on it. I'm going to pray on it. And then sometimes I get out there and he likes visitors, so he wastes my time. But I always figure at some point he's going to give me something I need, which he does. He slips up and gives me information that I need. But him, did he really find God? I don't know. Like when I was in the Army, I used to go to church on Sundays. And, I'm spiritual, I'm religious to a certain point. But I would go to church on Sundays so that I could like leave and go, it was a extracurricular activity. So I don't know that it's any different like that in prison. Not that I'm saying that the Army and prison are the same, but it's something more to do. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's also a way to try to forgive yourself and say, okay, God forgive me, so I'm forgiven now. But yeah, I'm like, can forgive you, but you can stay in prison too.
Yeah, yeah. To me, and this is just my opinion, I think when you have, let's just say, a serial murderer who's tallied it up quite a bit, and then all of a sudden they found God, to me, that screams con job. To me, it screams insincerity. It screams, I want my soul to be saved, and I know I've done wrong. I know I've done a ton of wrong. I just don't want to be responsible.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't disagree with you on any of those points. And if they did realize that they're a terrible person, and maybe mental illness plays a lot in some of these cases, and so does drug use. But also, blaming it completely on that, I've seen plenty of people who were mentally ill or on drugs, and they didn't kill people. So,
Yeah, exactly. I tell you what, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Michelle about the other side of being a detective, and that's the personal life side of it. I know in my profession of being a broadcaster, it's not easy, and I'll tell you why. Because you're married to your job.
yeah,
This
for
this is
sure.
this is it. This career is pretty much your life. But you get to know people, and that's part of the job, is that you do get to know people. You get to know their stories. You get to tell their stories. And we'll find out from Michelle why it's so hard to get to have personal relationships when you're in this job. When we come back, the book is Model Detective, A True Story of Heels, Handcuffs, and Homicides. It's a wonderful book. It's a bit of a grim book, but that's okay because it's a grim job. So when we come back, we'll talk to Michelle more about why, with this grim job, it's so hard to find someone who can love you and you can love them. It's coming up next here on the Best in True Crime Podcasting. Before we go to break, let me tell you about our sponsor today, Jelly Bean and Julia's. They've got specials all this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's happy hour, by the way, $3 off tacos, nachos, and quesadillas. Boneless wing baskets are half off or actually half off domestic taps bottles, single pour well drinks as well. On Friday nights, the smoked prime rib dinner, folks. It's amazing. 14 to 16 ounce prime rib available for you, as well as the tequila berry salad. That sweet and tangy dressing is available on that. That salad, I tell you. If you've ever had the tequila berries in the past, if you remember the restaurant when they had the endless prime rib dinner, that salad was what everybody raved about, with the bacon bits and the croutons and that salad dressing. Well, that salad is back now. and Corey and Coley serve it with the smoked prime rib dinner. You've also got the Boston baked potato with it and the Texas toast. That smoked prime rib dinner is served from 4:30 until close, and I guarantee you, you better get there a little after 4:30 because it's served until it's gone. So it's gone pretty much just a few hours after they serve it. So smoked prime rib dinner on Friday, and of course, breakfast is served on Sunday and on Sundays only. So go to where you're welcome. Go to where your family. Go to Jelly Bean and Julia's, jellybeanandjulias.com. We have a link in the description of this program. When we come back, more with Michele Wood. The name of the book is Model Detective, A True Story of Heels, Handcuffs, and Homicides, right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Michele Wood. The name of the book, Model Detective, A True Story of Heels, Handcuffs, and Homicides. When last we left you, we teased you, not in that kind of way. We wouldn't do that to you, but we teased you that we were going to talk about relationships. And I know in this job, in broadcasting, it's not easy because we're married to our jobs and we get to know people. But we get to know them from behind a microphone, and it's hard to keep relationships. That's just the way it is, and we work long hours, and there's not a lot of time for social life. In the book Model Detective, Michele talks about a little bit about how you're married to your job, and I know, Michele, you talk about being married to the force and having a partner, but it's a platonic partner who really has your back and is there to save your life. But it's hard to get to know people outside of the force. And you talk about, especially when you were talking about looking for a man, you talk about there's generally three types of men out there that want to get to have a relationship with a female police officer. Can you name those three types of men? Because I thought it was rather funny, actually.
Well, so I don't know how crude I was in it, but
It's
there
okay.
are, yeah,
You can be crude if you
there
want.
there are men that fetishize, if I'm saying that correctly.
Mhm.
They want to hook up with someone who's got a gun. Then there are the guys mostly that probably would never touch a cop with a stick.
Mhm.
And then they're the guys I always say that they're the unicorn, or the guy that doesn't exist, that actually is confident in his masculinity enough that he doesn't pay any mind to the fact that his woman might have a more like manly job, if you want to say that, than he does. So yeah, it's definitely hard. Like I remember my old partner and I, it was a female, Heather. We would go out when we were new police on the job, and I'm like, 25 years old out at bars, and people would come up to us and they're like, "What do you do for a living?" She had a long-term boyfriend at that time. So I would always lie and we'd make up these crazy stories. Like at one point she told someone that I was a backup dancer for Britney Spears. Like we literally were making up crazy stuff. And she would get annoyed. She's like, "She's a cop. She's a cop." And then she would see them walk away. And I'm like, "Heather, it's not even that I care if these guys like me or don't. People don't like police, and they certainly don't like female police." So then years later, she ended up breaking up with her boyfriend and she was single. She's like, "Michele, I have to apologize." She's like, "You are so right." She goes, "You could tell someone I'm a security guard at Target and they're like, 'Cool. I'm a police officer.' Are you going to beat me up? When are you going to kick my ass now? Why would you do that? Did you not go to school?" Like this isn't like once or twice. This is like 100 times. So her and I still friends, and we still work together, I think, at that point too. We'd be like, "Oh yeah, I work for streets and sanitation. I'm a garbage man." Cool. Like anything was better than saying you were a police officer. So yeah, the men, for the most part, not all of them. There are some that are okay. I was lucky to find one, but being a female police officer, not a turn on.
And it's not that I'm trying to be the unicorn or anything, but it's to me, it's kind of an odd deal. I mean, in the end, a job's a job, right? Uh, I mean, people have said to me, "Oh, you're so lucky. You just get to sit behind a microphone and talk all day," which isn't the job by any means.
No.
It's part of the job. It's just a small part of the job. As I'm sure you tell people, well, doing what it is I do. What you think my job is just a small part of that job. There's paperwork, there's processing a dead body, there's investigating, there's all this, there's different aspects to my job. There's
Yes.
stakeouts, there's other things. What people think, like you and I sitting down and talking to each other, is just a small part of my day.
Yes.
There's, to me, there's taking care of ad sales, there's taking care of answering emails from listeners, there's, booking guests, there's all these, there's all,
Uh-oh.
what's going on. Oh, we
Oh,
froze there.
okay.
Just, yeah,
That was
my,
okay.
sorry, that's my, I have a, I'm in a area of town where, let me write down the time here. I'm in an area of town where everybody works from home. And so
Oh,
Comcast
yes.
is horrible here.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So, here we go. 3, 1. So everybody assumes that when it comes to broadcasting, that it's just sitting down and you just talk to people and that's it.
You're like, I
Um,
wish.
yeah, I wish that was the job, but it's not, and I don't ever complain about that. But there's multifacets to every job. So I think for people to go, oh, Michelle's a cop, she just goes Rodney King on the bit and that's it. That's far from what your job is, and I think it's kind of I hate to use the word stupid, but I'm going to use it because vocabulary is not my strong suit at this point. But it's kind of dumb to think, well, the only part of Michelle's job is busting down doors and busting heads, right?
Yeah. No, it's not that at all. Like, I find it that I get the criticism both ways though. Like people are like, "Oh, you're in investigation, so you don't go on the street, do you?" I'm like, "What do you think? I solve cases from my desk?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "We go out to the crime scene when, someone is deceased." I'm like, "We process the crime scene, we talk to witnesses." I'm like, "We recover the evidence ourselves, we process the evidence, we send the evidence in." I'm like, and then we go out, anything we do afterwards, like the search warrants, we go out and do the search warrants ourselves, the arrests, the surveillance, hiding in bushes and looking for people. I'm like, we do all that. So I'm like, one stop shop, we do everything. But there's lots of downtime too. So there are, times where so many things are like sitting around and waiting, waiting for someone to come in that we're waiting to interview that doesn't show up, or going to their house and showing up and they blow us off. I mean, I would say most of my time is spent chasing after people who are blowing me off. So that's part of the job, though.
I'm going to ask you a question you're going to think is unusual, but don't you think most of the guys that don't want to date a cop are the guys who are the guiltiest, who probably would cheat on you?
You know what? Yes. Yeah, that's probably it too. And then also, it's men who are not secure enough because the job still is male dominated, and they're not secure enough to let you work in a profession where you're around men 24/7. And you know what, Tim, you're right about that, because they probably think you're getting hit on all day because that's how their mindset is. And that's really not how it is. I mean, the relationships that you have with guys on the job, being around them all day, it's much more like brother and sister than it is. I mean, of course, there are people that hook up, and, there are some salacious stories here and there. But for the most part, no, it's like it's the boys' club, and you got to fit in with the boys for the most part. I'm like, but it's mostly like ball busting all day. Like it's
Yeah.
definitely not, being
I,
hit on
I
sometimes, but for the most part, no.
I gotta imagine most of it is like being in the army. I mean, you've got to have your someone's back, right? I mean, you're pretty much out on the streets, and you're well, when you're on the streets, but I mean, you've got to have each other's backs, and you got to make sure that you're protecting each other first, right?
Yeah. And I've always worked on teams. So I've been lucky that I kind of got to pick the people that I worked with. And then when I became a supervisor, I got to actually, pick the people on my team. So I've always had really good teams. And, my detectives are the ones that did the most of the work. And I was just there to make sure, when something did go wrong, I could fix it, and to, fight with state's attorneys. Like that's my job.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And I would think if someone were out of pocket with their behavior, you get rid of them right away, right? I mean,
Oh,
it's not,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, in a second. And that's the thing with me. Like, I will do anything for you. But if you go against something that I told you to do, and I don't, I'm not a micromanager, or if you lie to me, you're dead to me, and we will have none of that anymore. And I've always told my team that. And I've been lucky enough where they've, you know, agreed with me and complied with it. I'm like, do not lie to me. You lie to me, you're done. And also in law enforcement, we're on body cam all the time, and we're on, camera on the streets. Everywhere you go, there's cameras. I'm like, don't lie. You can always say, oops, I'm an idiot. I made a mistake. Or oops, I shouldn't have done that. Or I didn't realize this. I'm like, but when you lie, your word is garbage. And the second that you even lie, because, lying by omission, you could be banned from being able to testify ever again. And your career is done. So I like to start it off with don't lie to me. And that'll probably, keep them safe in the rest of their career, where it's like, don't lie. You can always admit you made a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about cameras for a second. Body cameras on streets. Has it made the job easier? Made it harder? What do you think?
Initially, I was so weary of cameras all the time because I thought people weren't going to talk to us. Because anytime you would have a witness in Chicago, we're a third-party consent law state, so in Illinois, not Chicago.
Mhm.
So anytime you said, "Oh, can I put you on camera?" No, I don't want to talk to you. I'll talk to you, confidentially or whatever. So I thought it was going to be really hard to have body cameras and electronic recorded interviews. And no, it's helped so much. We get sued a lot. Like, we get sued all the time. And in my personal experience, and I know for a fact many other officers around me, those body cams have helped us so much. I not that long ago was accused of kidnapping someone. Thank
What?
God everyone had body cameras on. And it was the most asinine thing in the world because this person said that, I got in the car and I drove away, and they were able to even show that I wasn't even driving a vehicle that day. I didn't have a vehicle. I jumped in with my lieutenant, and then we went to another scene, and I got in someone else's car. So it started off there bad for this person that was suing, but those cameras were fantastic because we had cameras everywhere. We had cameras walking into the station. We had cameras on the street. We had body cameras. There was just no merit to it. I'm like, this person should have thought before they sued the police department that they were going to look like the biggest liar, and they did. So that worked out well for me. So
Yeah.
cameras, I love. In terms of murders, we've literally had murders where we've tracked people from 2 days before when they were thinking about doing the murder, and we saw their day because of how good cameras are. So I love them.
Wow. It's funny because the people who are against them will cite Big Brother, the fact that there's a lack of privacy in society. But I think we're finding that between cameras and DNA evidence, that it's become much easier to solve crimes these days. Is that agreeable?
Yes. So in terms of like DNA is fantastic. It's come so far since when I got on the job. But unfortunately, at least in Illinois, you can have DNA and you can have video evidence. But if you don't have a human being there that provides an identification, we call them Thompson IDs, which are third party IDs, you still won't get a case charged. So DNA, fantastic tool. Video, fantastic tool, but you still need human beings to solve crimes because they won't, at least in Illinois, with my experience, they won't put cases on if it's solely a DNA or video case. Because
Really?
even though, like, I could see Tim on camera, I'm like, that's Tim. Well, how do you know that's Tim? How long have you known Tim? Well, I met Tim today. Well, then you don't have the criteria that we need to identify Tim. Tim's mom has to come in and look at the video independently and say, yep, that's my son. I've known him since he was born. So people don't realize that we need that. They're like, it's on camera. These stupid cops, weren't they arresting him? I'm like, we are not allowed to make those identifications. We need, again, I hate this word, Thompson IDs. That's what they call it, Thompson IDs. So yes, DNA, fantastic, great tool. Lots of other stuff, cell phone evidence, text messages, social media, all of it, but we still need human beings.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I guess that provides a loophole then, doesn't it, when you're a lawyer?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, I should have been a lawyer.
Completely. Um, One of the other, I guess, parts of your job that's a little gory and can be a little one of the things I wanted to bring up with you, which can be a little stomach turning for some people. So I guess there's a little bit of a disclaimer here in this episode. Um, has to do with when you're dealing with a dead body. One of the things I couldn't reconcile in my head is here we are in the middle of the blood, guts, and gore, but yet my stomach's turning. I got to go get lunch. How exactly does your? I know everyone's got to eat. I know it's a bodily function, but there's several points in the book where you're in the middle of processing a case and you're like, I'm starving. I could reach into the cupboard and grab these people's crackers if I had to, type of deal. How is it that even when you're in the middle of the slag, so to speak, that yet you're still hungry? That doesn't turn your stomach still.
I don't think it's ever turned my stomach. It's funny that you say that. I mean, I've had certain situations where, um, not to be like gross, but when gases get inside people's body, sometimes their body parts will split. Stuff
Yeah.
like that is gross because it's not things that we're supposed to see. But this is more like decomposition. When bodies have been inside hot places for a long period of time, decomposition will make you sick. But a body that is recently deceased doesn't even really have a smell. People wouldn't really know that. What causes the smell are the gases inside the body, and then unfortunately bodily fluids. But when we are processing a scene, even if it's indoors, we're not really we do what we need to do, and we examine the body and do what we need to do. But I don't think it's as gross as people think. And like blood, yes, hours after blood is sitting there, it starts to smell, starts to give off like an odor. But again, that too, we try not to stand in it. And in the beginning, we never had like booties or things to put over our shoes. We started buying it ourselves, and I still like buy it on Amazon. So we have extra stuff. But yeah, and I think you know what, Tim, I'm just desensitized now because when you
Wow.
said that, I'm like, what? Never really thought about that. Like we won't talk about stuff when we're at dinner. Like if someone's like, "Oh, did you see, whatever?" I'm not going to say anything that's going to be disgusting.
Right.
But
Right.
we're like, "Oh, I'm eating." So, yeah, we will remind each other not to bring up like specific
Yeah.
things, but the processing of a deceased body, especially if it's a newer homicide, there isn't a lot of um smell.
Guts and
I'll
gore.
put it that way.
Okay. That's fair enough. That's fair. Yeah, because as I'm sitting there reading, I'm like, how do you're in the middle of everything, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, my stomach's rumbling, I gotta eat, and I'm like, how do you even think about it at that
You're the
point?
first person that's brought that up to me. So that's funny. I honestly didn't think about that. And I'm trying to think about now. I'm like, did my stomach ever turn? No, like I had one house where everyone inside the house was deceased. And that thing was gory because it took us forever to process it. And we were
Mm.
there forever. And then the gases started, making the bodies expand inside the house. I
Yeah,
don't think I ate after that one, but not really because of that. Like, yeah,
it's just
I don't
yeah.
know. I'm a strange person.
No, no, it's it. I don't blame. Like I said, everyone's got to eat. Everyone's
Yeah.
got to. I mean, it's we have our bodily functions. Things got to happen.
Yes.
The other bodily function. I don't know why I'm stuck on this today. The other bodily function you talk about, you talk about how officers shouldn't pee in people's toilets on a scene that you're processing. You're like, you should just wait until it's time to leave or go outside or whatever. The one thing you mentioned in the book, which stuck with me, there's weird things that stick with me in every book I read. This happened to be one of them. You talk about on one particular scene you're on that, an officer just happened to go in someone's toilet. And you're like, even though it doesn't leave DNA behind, unless
Yeah.
you've got a UTI or something like
Right.
that, um, why would you even go in someone's toilet? Right.
I don't know, and that's one thing that does gross me out is I hate like urine. Urine grosses me out, and it's one of the things. And I'm like, blood doesn't bother me. That does. But when I see that, I'm like, you couldn't just wait. And I would joke because my old partner would be like, I have to run to the bathroom. I'm like, men's bladders must be so weak because women, we will hold it for 10 hours. Like you would never in your life catch me using someone's bathroom. I don't care where we are. But I don't know, guys just don't see it the same. Like I don't want to turn their sink on and I don't know what's in that soap. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that's soap. Like yeah. So I prefer to go inside my car, decontaminate my hands inside, and then we still go back to the station and, clean ourselves, whatever, before we go eat or go, do whatever. I've walked out of houses where I've had, I brought back to the station, I had a roach on my neck, crawling on my neck.
Oh,
And I remember one of the female detectives like, Michelle, don't move. And I knew right away what it is. And I am so grossed out by bugs. But I knew that if I would have freaked out, it would have dropped inside of my bulletproof vest and I would have never found it. So I
oh,
was there and she came and flicked it off of me. And it was a cockroach from this house that was infested with roaches. And I brought one back with me. So there, what I did is we were in the middle of the investigation. I went home. And I went home and I took a shower and I changed and I came back and finished what we were doing. But I was like, oh my God. But yeah, I mean, we have to peel off our crime scene shoes and leave them outside the house when we get home because of stuff like that. You don't want to bring bugs in. You don't want to, bring bodily fluids inside.
yeah,
I always wore wedges to work. And people would always joke about me having high heels on. I'm like, the reason I did that is because I never wanted my pants to drag inside blood.
right.
So
Yeah,
that was part of the reason, because it brings you up a little bit higher. It's almost like you have this little protective barrier from getting your pants dragging inside
yeah,
blood, essentially.
yeah. No, that's smart. That's incredibly smart. The other, I hate to bring this one up too. I don't know why I'm on the gross and insane today, Michelle, but I am. Bed bugs. Have you ever run into a situation where you've had massive bed bugs at a crime scene and tried not to or tried to avoid those?
Yeah, well, we had a crime scene that my partner and it was toward the end of my detective career before I made sergeant, and they had a sign in the front of the house. We were processing this crime scene, and it said, I don't know why they told everybody, but it was a notice to the whole building that the building was infested with bed bugs. And we went in there and we were doing stuff, and I don't remember what it was, but I went in and there was no reason for us to be there at that point because the evidence technicians were going in and getting stuff. I stayed outside because I'm like, no way. If I go in there, I'm burning everything that I have on right now.
Yep.
So yeah, knock on wood, not yet. Um, that has not happened.
I just there's just I don't think people can appreciate what you all go through when you go into these different homes. I mean, you just it's not just the unknown of you're going into a crime scene and is there still somebody there that could pose danger to you? It's the unknown dangers, right?
Yes. Oh,
I
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've gotten sick so many times from being inside houses where it's just dirty. It's just dirty. And, during the COVID era and everything else, like you can catch stuff from surfaces that aren't clean. So, yeah, I remember once not that long ago, I was inside a house and I immediately had strep the next day and no one around me had strep. I'm like, where did I get strep? And I definitely got it from that house. And that house was a special type of like filthy.
jeez. Oh, I yeah, I'm wondering how you're not in a hazmat suit when you go to every one of these.
I should be. I should be. But yeah, we're so bad with stuff like that. Like up until like COVID, we wouldn't even like carry much like PPE. And then, we did the mask stuff. And then after a while, we were around so much nasty stuff. I'm like, we're wearing masks, but we're, going into these houses that have Lord knows what. Like, we've arrested people that have had um, hepatitis, and we recently had a guy that had tuberculosis.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah. So, yeah. And the thing is, I mean, we're lucky that people tell us, but imagine the people that we encounter that have stuff that we don't know about.
Right. Right. I mean, if you run across someone who's maybe, drug addled out of their mind and sick and not able to tell you,
Right. Right.
that's
Yeah.
the most dangerous of all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just we try to be aware and try to, like if I hear someone coughing, and what happened is one guy, he was pretty nice. He was in custody, and I walked up to him and he was coughing. I'm like, dude, do you have tuberculosis? I was joking. He's like, yeah. I'm
Oh,
like, okay. And this was years ago. This wasn't the guy recently. This was another
yeah.
guy. But I was just kidding. Like I thought I was being funny, but I wasn't being funny because he did have TB. So
Oh my gosh. Wow. 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 I just, there's another chapter in the book where you're talking about the body snatchers, body cleaners, whatever you want to call them, that come in and they clean up after these scenes. And I think about even what you just talked about, where you're barely protected and you are getting ill from this stuff. What is their success rate at keeping healthy, even though they've got the hazmat suits on?
Well, some of them have hazmats and other of them don't. Like they, I think, decide what their level of, confidence is with the gear because some of them come in looking like Ghostbusters and then the other ones come in with a mask on. So I don't know. I mean, that's a job. Like they definitely don't. I don't know what they get paid, but I know it's not enough.
I can't imagine they're getting paid enough. Is that can't be a job where you do it for the love of the game, right? I mean, you got to be a different type of person to want to do that kind of a job.
I don't know. I mean, lately it seems like it's younger people, so maybe it pays good for someone who's in school or someone, maybe like a convicted felon or someone that, is having a harder time getting background checks. But I don't even know if they'd allow a convicted felon to do it because of the fact that you're, in proximal location to law enforcement and things that you probably shouldn't be, privy to. But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. But whatever it is, I don't care if it's a lot, which I know it's not. It's still not enough.
Right, right. Yeah. Fascinating stuff. You've got such fascinating stuff in this book, that it just, it gets the mind turning, right? When you start to think about
Oh, thank you.
the different things that go on in any department, but much less the department there in Chicago that you've been working with. And just the different things that you deal with, even as a female officer and a female sergeant and someone who's in charge.
Yeah.
You've really gotten through a lot. If you had one or two messages that you wanted to convey here that we haven't covered, what would you want to convey to our audience today?
Um, I when I went on the job, and I think it translates to anything, even like corporate America and everything else. Like my ignorance was bliss because when I got on the job, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a homicide detective. They're like, no, kid, you're not going to be a homicide detective. Broads aren't homicide detectives. And I was like, no, that's really what I want to do. So I pushed forward, not knowing that I wasn't really supposed to do that. So I think that's true in any type of job. And now I tell, because I teach pre-service detectives after they're promoted. My partner and I teach a class, and I tell them, I'm like, in the past, it was really hard to get into these specialty assignments in the police department. Like if you wanted to be undercover and, you had to know someone. And now I said, always let someone know what you want to do because someone might pluck you out from where you are and take you under their wing. And that's what I do with a lot of people. So I'm like, whatever you want to do, speak it to the universe. And if you really want it, it will be yours.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I have an odd question here. Again, I'm full of odd questions for you
No,
today,
I'm
Michelle.
full of odd answers.
Um, what was more fulfilling to you in your career? Um, your closest personal relationship or your closest partnership?
Well, I will say it was both because one of my partners on my team ended up being my husband later.
Oh,
So, yeah, we went to high school together, and then we were both married to different people while we were on the team, and our divorces ended because Tim, like you said, we were married to the job and didn't pay attention to what was going on at home. And we were always really good friends, and we worked really well together. I mean, and we've been in some crazy situations like police-involved shootings, car chases, all types of stuff. And I knew he always had my back. And that then translated to our life because years later, then after I made sergeant and I was actually back in the detective division, he worked somewhere else. We started dating and then we eventually got married and had our daughter. So that relationship, when we were doing all the crazy stuff as a detective on the same homicide team, uh, that was then I would have said our friendship, not just with him, with everyone that was on that team. We had a good team. Like we had a solid motley crew, but we had a solid motley crew team. And so now, I mean, we've been through so much together that I joke and I say we're trauma bonded, but
mhm.
he knows everything about me because we work together so many times. We're at work for 36 hours at a time. So that relationship came from our relationship that we had from solving murders.
you find that relationships different now than even your first 5 or 10 years together?
Um, well, we've now only been together for 9 years.
Okay.
Um,
So then
yeah,
is it different now than the first 5 years you were together?
it's not. It's really not because the same ball busting, and it's funny that people that were on our team that see us together now, it's weird for them
Hmm.
because we're all friends, and then it's just funny how we morphed into that. And my daughter now is 5 years old, so we have a little girl, and no one would have ever thought that. No one. But yeah, it came from those long hours, and we worked nights, so we were never home. We were at court all day. We worked 4 to 1 o'clock in the morning, 4 p.m. till 1 o'clock in the morning. And then inadvertently, we'd get a job all the time at 12 o'clock. I don't know if that was like the witching hour or what it was, but then you're stuck at work then. And, it takes at least 12 hours to process a crime scene. So then, we're at work till noon. If, we have to go to court, we still might have to pop into court for stuff, but we start work again that night. So it went like that forever and ever. And glad I did it, but I would never do it again now. Like my detectives now, I tell them to prioritize sleep. I'll make it so important. Like
Yeah.
we don't want to die in this job from heart attacks or whatever because we didn't sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. That is important. I, I'll tell, I would never ask a lady her age, but I'll tell you this much. I know at my age, as you get older, pain sets in and it's harder to sleep. So get your sleep now
Take
because
it while you can.
it's right. Because when you get older, it's harder to get.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, take it while you can. You're right. Take it while you can. The book is Model Detective, a true story of heels, handcuffs, and homicides. It's a wonderful book, folks. It's put out by Wild Blue Press. We have a link in the description of this program. So go get it, go read it. And it's a fascinating journey, Michele. I tell you, you've led a very full life and a very interesting life at that. Um, Thank you so much for being with
Thank
us.
you. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Folks, we're going to switch directions here. We're going to take it in a different direction. It's time now for us to join Jessica Freeburg. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again. Time we've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, I need to co-host this. So I almost feel like I slurred that for some reason. Maybe too much alcohol over the weekend with all the celebrating. Of course, there's the Wolves. There was the Wild, and God, there was my team, the Vikings. Jesus, what did you do in the draft? You know what? I hear a rumor. I heard a rumor that they reached out to my co-hostess this weekend because they're in such disarray with this damn draft that they needed someone who could come in and clean up. In fact, they reached out to Binder and they said, Binder, we need someone who can come in and clean up this organization. And Binder said, oh, sir, I know of someone who's been cracking the whip on me 24/7, someone who's the eater of world, slayer of charts, someone who could put this organization back in tow, who could put the Minnesota Vikings right. The one, the only, you know who I'm talking about. She can juggle many, many books, put them in line, put them out there for the public. In fact, 57 of them this next year is what I hear. She's going to put them out there to the market, and each and every one of them will be quality tomes. Yet when the Vikings turned to her, she said, I can't clean this mess up. Are you kidding? That's too big of not even I, with my mighty powers, can correct that ship. So with that, here she is, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Jessica Freeburg. Hi, Jess.
Hey, I mean, I would try for the right amount of money to clean it up.
They don't have that much money.
Oh, darn
Clearly.
it. Never mind then. You're on your own, Vikings.
That's right. Yeah. Holy cow. After looking at those draft choices this weekend,
Oh, Oh, I hate to say it because some of those, I mean, those guys have to be super excited. They got drafted.
Oh, I'm
Yay!
sure. Yeah. But
Dreams come true.
yeah. And nothing against Mr. Caleb Banks or whoever our first round draft pick is, but I got a bad foot too. Can you draft me number one? You know what I'm saying? Wait, let me. There we go.
There you go.
I got a broken foot too. Can I go number one?
Hey,
Hey.
I hope he comes in and kills it. Rooting for you, bud. Whoever you are. We're not buds, but we should be.
Yeah, right. Especially with that many millions of buds all day long. I got a shattered foot. Can I be your number one draft pick? Yay!
You go in and play with your shattered foot, and I'll be a almost 50-year-old cheerleader on the sidelines. How about that?
I like it. I think we could turn this franchise around, Cass.
I think so too.
Between you and me. That's all I got to say about that. Otherwise, the other two teams in town are winning.
Yeah. It's been good.
Yeah. Been fine up here in Minneapolis. That's all I know. Before we get rolling here today, and we got to get rolling, we got plenty on tap. Boy, evidently the weather warms up. Lewd, Nude, and Crude is back. So,
all right.
There you go. So I'll forewarn you today. And our palate cleanser is kind of a half cleanser because
palate cleanser is going to leave us feeling dirty too, guys. Well, it'll be all right.
A little bit. Let's just say it was a rough day at work for one guy, and we're going to cover it today.
Oh gosh.
But it will leave you laughing.
That's what we're here for.
Lesson in irony today in the palate cleanser. I think you're going to laugh at this one, Jess. We do have a bit of a prayer, healing, energy request for you guys out there. Please keep these two men in mind as you head out for your week this week. First of all, our good friend Corey over at Jelly Bean and Julia, his dad is in a bit of rough shape. He does have Parkinson's. We want to keep you or have you put your prayers, your energy, your love out there for him, your good vibes out there, your thoughts out there for Kenny. I've worked with Kenny out at St. Patrick's Rib Fest over the last couple of years. Boy, what a nice guy. What a wonderful guy. Yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful guy. Kenny's going to be 73 on May 3rd. His 50th anniversary is in June. Aww. And we want to get him there, right? We want to give him good energy to get him there because I'll put it this way. There might be a special celebration in June for that. So we want to get Kenny there to the finish line there for the 50th anniversary. So we just want to put some good energy out there and let's lift Kenny up. Let's get him there. Let's put some positive energy out there for Kenny and get him a little bit of healing here. Now he is in some late stage Parkinson. He's having some late stage Parkinson syndrome symptoms out there. Okay. I'm just putting some reality out there. Mm-hmm. But we do wish that he would get some easing of those symptoms. Okay. And that, we pray for Kenny to basically have an easier time with this because Parkinson's, boy, I tell you, my grandmother passed from Parkinson's.
That's rough.
It is. It's a rough disease. So, and Kenny is he's such a wonderful man. He really is. So, just praying for some easing that the doctors can do something for him but such a wonderful, wonderful man. So Kenny Swap is his name. And currently he's undergoing some care at Unity Hospital in Fridley. He's undergoing a 3-week treatment over there. So if you can just focus your prayers and energy and thoughts on Kenny Swap over there at Unity Hospital in Fridley. I'm going to be selfish again. You guys have been wonderful about praying for my old man, for Roy Dennis over there in White Bear Lake. Tuesday, today is it. He's had the PICC line removed, so he's gotten past the infection part in his spine. Now is the cancer surgery. He does have Paget's disease, which is a form of male breast cancer, and they are looking into the lymph node. They did a lymph node test as well, or they're doing a lymph node test before he goes in today to make sure that cancer isn't spread to the lymph nodes. If it has, they'll remove some lymph nodes today as well. But by the time you listen to this, he'll be either on the table or off the table, depending on what time you get it. and he will have had a section of his chest removed today. So, but please send out your love, your thoughts, your prayers, your energy to Roy Dennis in either Edina or White Bear Lake, wherever he, no, I'm sorry, Burnsville or White Bear Lake. He's having surgery in Burnsville today. So, please send a little out to him as well, so that he heals nicely and we get over this hump. But you guys have been wonderful for him as well. So, and that's greatly appreciated. My family greatly appreciates that as well. All right. Shall we get into it?
Let's go.
All right. The first one is a little disturbing. Florida man can be quite disturbing and quite funny. Florida woman, on the other hand, I don't know that I'd cross her.
Uh-oh. What'd she do
Yeah.
this time?
Well, let's talk about a woman in Lutz who was arrested after disposing of a family member's body in the woods.
Ooh,
I don't know if this was a financial thing, if this was a cruelty thing, or what this was. I'm going to show you a picture of this woman. Let's just say I'd recruit her in the draft for the Vikings.
whoa, that look.
Now, that's a number one draft pick right there, Jess.
Oh, if you saw her looking at you across that line.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I'd walk away at that point. I wouldn't even hike the ball. I'd be like, where's the dressing room?
You're like, okay, bye. She's so scary.
Say dressing room like it's wrestling. Locker room. I'm going to the locker room. And
I thought of a theater, so I just imagined you in your theater with your hairdresser getting you all ready to go.
Yes, with my luscious hair. I saw some ad last night about you too can regrow your hair with this certain shampoo. And I'm like, yeah, right. I haven't been able to regrow my hair in 30 years. We go to Lutz, Florida, where a 64-year-old woman has been arrested months after human remains were discovered in Lutz. On August 8th of 2025, deputies with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office responded to a call about possible human remains in a wooded area on Ramblewood Road. At the time, the medical examiner's office said there were no apparent signs of trauma and confirmed that the remains were of a woman. Detectives were able to find potential leads following an extensive investigation and DNA evidence processing with the help of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. On Tuesday, investigators identified the victim as 78-year-old Jacqueline Cerrone. They determined that a family member caring for Cerrone disposed of her remains in the woods after her death. Rebecca Vaughn, the victim's niece, is now facing multiple charges.
Whoa.
Yeah.
If you'd have told me that lady you showed me a picture of was over 70, I would believe it. So I'm shocked that's her niece.
Right. You would think that was the woman over 70.
Yeah.
Rebecca Vaughn is facing multiple charges, including unlawfully holding or moving a dead human body in unapproved conditions, failure to report death to a medical examiner or law enforcement, and tampering with physical evidence, deputies say. The case is the result of relentless investigative work and a critical partnership with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Sheriff Chad Cronister said in a statement, "The actions taken in this case show a complete disregard for human dignity, and we will ensure those responsible face the full consequences. The investigation is still ongoing." Now, we joke sometimes morbidly about, when I die, just throw me out in the woods somewhere. Or, don't worry about a funeral. That's too expensive.
Yeah.
You would never think a relative would just throw you out in the woods somewhere, right?
Yeah. This lady was probably like, well, she said it must have been what she really wanted.
No.
Makes you wonder, though, like, if she died from natural causes, she was taking care of her, she just passed, and she's like, I'll just take her out in the woods. Much cheaper. That's what we used to do in the old days.
Yeah, we don't need to necessarily, we can just,
save a little money on the casket.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way. I don't know. No.
Okay.
Yeah, not good. Let's see here. We go to our next story. Again, you ever have one of those days where the story was free and then all of a sudden they go, digital access?
They're sneaky.
I know. What the heck? Let's see here. Try to debate whether we even need this story or not. Let's see.
I think the universe has spoken.
I think it has, hasn't it? Let's just move on. Um, a woman is found asleep in a Tesla with autopilot on and arrested for a DUI on I-75. Now, a lot of people think that the new wave of cars is going to be the way to get out of a DUI. Not so fast.
You have to be sober when you're not driving it.
That's right. That's pretty much the deal here, Jess. We again are staying in Florida for this one. You figure this is a Florida story, right? We go to Sarasota, where a woman intoxicated at twice the legal limit got behind the wheel, believing her Tesla's autopilot would get her home safely.
Hmm.
We'd like to think it's our butler, our friend, our buddy, and even our guardian angel, but it's not. According to Trooper Ken Watson, at around 2 a.m., 37-year-old Kimberly Brown was traveling northbound on I-75, intoxicated at more than twice the legal limit, making the assumption that the Tesla would get her home safely.
She just gets in. She's like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
And then falls asleep.
That's not what that function's for, kids. This was extremely dangerous, Watson said. There are actually monitors within the vehicle that make sure you're looking forwards and will initially warn you. So you do have to be engaged while you're driving. It's not, it's not a babysitter where it'll go, no, that's all right. You just take a nap. We're going to get you home. Don't worry about it. Alistair Weave was quoted as saying this, the editor-in-chief of the auto publication Edmunds.com. And then ultimately, it will shut down the car and shut down the system if you're not paying attention.
Oh.
So you do have to be actively involved with the car in order for it to take over for autopilot.
I guess she didn't understand that part.
I don't think she did. When Brown stopped responding to the vehicle's alerts, the car came to a halt in the middle lane of the interstate.
Oh, shoot. That's not good.
Because it doesn't understand oncoming traffic. Yeah. She should not have been behind the wheel. Unfortunately, she was intoxicated more than 2 times the legal limit, Watson said. Watson said the incident highlights the importance of always being alert before going behind the wheel and making plans ahead of time rather than relying on autopilot features. Detectives are still investigating the incident, determining where Brown was coming from and what prompted her to get behind the wheel. Oh, I don't know. Too cheap to pay for a sober cab and not wanting to get caught driving.
It just seems like in today's era, there's no excuse for a DUI, DWI. Like, just get an Uber. They're not that expensive. And if you can't afford one, you probably can't afford to be out drinking anyway.
Yeah. It's, I don't know what is up with some kids, some people's kids. It's just, some people. I don't know.
Yeah. Making it unsafe for the rest of us. We're just driving down the road and there's a car stopped in the middle of the interstate.
That's right, Jess. Yeah. And then you're swerving, you're trying to avoid them, trying to blow them up there on the highway. I've, some of the most violent crashes I've ever seen have been on Florida highways. Because you think people go fast here. And I thought people went fast in New York. But people just right down the highway in Florida, and they will violently hit each other.
Yeah, flying.
Yeah, they're flying. They don't care. They're like, I'll let insurance take care of it. They just, they think, oh, well. Our next story, our next 2 stories start out with the headline, Man Busted, but for different things. I don't know. It's a common headline, right? This one starts out, Man Busted for Ukrainian flag rage.
Ooh, what'd that flag ever do to him?
I don't know, right? I mean, some people have, I guess, Ukrainian flag rage. I can't imagine why, but some people do. Police say that the perp tore flags from a Florida overpass. Now, a Florida man by way of Russia is behind bars on a felony charge after he ripped down a pair of Ukrainian flags that were affixed to a highway overpass and shoved a peaceful female protester multiple times.
Oh, I see. He was from the other side.
He was from the other
side of the war. Yeah.
He wasn't too happy. Cops allege that 57-year-old Igor Piven parked his vehicle near the footbridge, climbed 3 flights of ramps, and removed the Ukrainian flags from the fence. This man had energy.
Wow. He really got his workout in.
There was more than 10,000 steps involved, I think, here, Jess.
Done for the day.
I'll tell you this much. my little Fitbit watch would have been blown up at that point. I would have, my little
Alarms would have been going off.
my heart would have exploded in my chest at that point if I would have gone through that much activity. When 55-year-old protester Susan Forbes Cruz approached Piven and asked for the flags back, he reportedly said they were illegal in the United States.
Are they now? I don't think so.
No, I don't think they are.
Maybe in Russia. He might have been confused.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah. After Forbes Cruz sought to physically take them back, Piven allegedly shoved her multiple times in her upper chest. Oh, no.
Whoa.
By the way, this guy looks like your classic villain in every 80s movie.
Wow, he does. What is it with these scowls today? They're just looking at us like they want to attack us.
He looks like every 80s Russian gangster right there.
I think if this is his dating profile, he
Yeah,
and that other lady from Florida should
Yeah.
totally go out for lunch or something. They look like a real match.
Match.com profile right there. I'm really old that I said Match.com and not like Tinder or anything like that. In an arrest affidavit, cops reported the victim also sustained an abrasion to her right wrist from the altercation. Using video provided by Forbes Cruz, police tracked Piven's vehicle to a Seminole residence where the suspect reportedly admitted stealing the flags because he was offended and that it was illegal for them to hang them. Well, it's not his call. It's
literally not illegal. So
that's right. It's not your call. You can't make that call. It's the municipality, and evidently they didn't have a problem with it. After being read his rights, Piven said that he was angry his taxpayer money was going to the war in Ukraine and still feels that it is illegal to protest with the Ukraine flag. Again, not your call, Mr. Piven. Piven cops say also admitted that he warned Forbes Cruz that he would punch her if she continued to follow him and sought to retrieve the flags.
wow. So he's a woman beater.
He's
Cool.
a woman. Yeah. And a Russian villain from a 1980s film.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Mel Gibson ever wants to make a comeback and make Lethal Weapon 80, he's got his villain.
We found his bad guy.
Right. Police recovered the purloined flags, by the way, from a garbage bag in Piven's garage. So he was going to illegally get rid of a flag. So you can add that charge. Yeah.
Can't do that. That actually is illegal, sir.
Pictured in the mugshot that I just showed Jess, Piven was arrested last night for strong arm robbery and booked into the county jail in advance of an initial court appearance scheduled for last week. Actually, this is all last week. Piven, who operates an auto repair shop, again, a trope for an 80s Russian villain who's probably a chop shop, right?
Yeah.
And probably running illegal arms through it. I'm
100%.
I'm coming up with a device here. Jess, am I doing a good job so far?
I think it's great. I'm taking notes, and this is going to be our next movie we write together, Tim.
That's right. And we'll somehow get Mel Gibson and Danny Glover involved. And we'll make Lethal Weapon 80. My weapon isn't so lethal.
And we have to get him out of the nursing home to have them come and chase the bad guy.
Danny Glover, as he's trying to walk along with his walker, is like,
yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
See? Isn't that good? Piven operates an auto repair shop. By the way, he was born in Russia. So that's why he's got so much to say. The Pinellas Park overpass, where the Ukraine flags flew, is known for a rotating series of political messages. So go figure. I won't say what those are, but but there's plenty of political messages there.
Yeah. They're just hanging their flags there, getting people to honk. You see it all the time when I drive through the city.
And Mr. Piven evidently doesn't like any of them. So he goes there daily to rage.
Just don't honk then. Just drive on.
That's right. Our second headline that says man busted. I feel like we tackled this last week as well. Evidently, Subway is the target of many people who like to rage.
Really? Another Subway story.
Yeah. Man busted for Subway stale bread rage.
Yeah, okay, what was the other lady's? She didn't get enough of something on her sandwich and she just lost her mind.
It was
Oh,
peppers.
yeah, peppers.
Now it's stale bread.
Huh.
Evidently, Subway needs to step it up. I think it's
You
what.
know, this is just another reason to go to like Jersey Mike's or something.
Right. Yeah, we were talking. Yeah, when we were talking sandwiches, the old man loves Jimmy John.
Yeah, I do too. That's my fave.
Yeah. And
My kids love Jersey Mike's. They love to make it
yeah,
juicy.
make
with
it
all the
juicy. That's a great slogan. Make it juicy with Jersey Mike's. Yeah, I wonder if they'll take that one.
Sounds so dirty.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, make it. Jersey Mike's loves to make it juicy for you, huh? Hey, dirty.
Ooh,
Huh? And
perfect place to take your girl on a date.
see Jersey Mike there in the commercial going. I know that was a video deal, and it sounded disgusting, but I kind of licked my fingers there. It was
Yeah.
yeah, especially and then handling your sandwich. That's terrible.
Ew. All right, I'm going to Subway now.
Yeah, I know, right? Subway, I'd rather eat the yoga mat at that point. I mean, that's
Yeah, give me the stale bread and the last peppers.
yeah, and the terrible peppers, and I'll take the half-eaten 3-day-old meat that's been sitting out for a while. I'll take that after Jersey Mike licks his fingers and makes my sandwich juicy.
Yeah, I don't know. What does Jersey Mike look like? Is he kind of like a rock-esque? Like, is he a hottie? Because then he can lick my sandwich.
I kind of imagine Andrew Dice Clay. I don't know. I'm making. Oh, you want a sandwich over here or what? I kind of imagine that guy. That's dangling out of his mouth, working on your sandwich.
Ooh, ashing in my sandwich and then he licks it. Oh.
I'll make your sandwich juicy, honey. Oh. I don't know.
I'm neither hungry nor turned on
Thank you.
by this scenario.
That's pretty sexy. Did I make it special for you? Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Play this for the kids. You'll get your way every time when you're going to choose sandwiches. No, they'll be like
definitely Jimmy John's.
Like, ew, mom, really? I don't.
Ew, it's juicy. I told you, kids, it's juicy.
It's juicy and Ashton. So do you want to go to John's now? Is that good? Now that I've ruined Jersey Mike's for everybody, he'll never ever sponsor the show. No.
Also, he sounds like a sex offender, so I don't know.
Yeah, he does. Oh, I got a foot long for you, honey. Oh.
All Jersey Mikes are positioned within a certain distance from the schools.
You know what? At Jersey Mike's, this really sounds creepish. It's not a foot long, it's a giant.
Ooh.
Right, it's regular or giant.
Yeah.
So, I'll give you all you can handle, baby. It's a giant. Oh. Oh. Like an extra giant and extra juicy. Oh.
Yeah, I just go in with my chastity belt on and like, just give me a sandwich.
You're gonna need 3 keys for this lock, kid.
Oh, I don't know how we made this sandwich story dirty, but oh shoot, it's not safe for work. But here we are.
No, but here we are. I should have moved this.
Darn it!
Where were we again on this headline? Yes, busted
Stale bread.
Stale bread. That's right. A patron who was visibly upset about the hardness of the bread used for his sandwich. That's why it got dirty. That's why. Struck a Subway employee in the face.
With the bread?
I hope so. I smacketh him in the face with my hard bread.
You wanna see how hard this is?
Yeah.
Whack.
Whack. That was according to police who arrested the man for battery in the latest episode of fast food rage plaguing the country. There's fast food rage plaguing the country.
That is a true sign that we have gone off the rails. We can't even go to fast food establishments without losing our freaking minds.
Doesn't this man look like he's too old to be doing this?
Oh, for sure. Not look. He's like, I said, give me soft bread.
Yeah.
You heard me.
My teeth is hurt. I need soft bread. My teeth is hurt. Although I'm at the age where if I got tough bread, I'd probably hit him with the bread roll too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, I can't chew that here. Take it back. Investigators say that 43-year-old Roy McIntosh, he was too old to know better. Arrived Tuesday morning, in the morning. He showed up in the morning, Jess.
Oh,
Right away.
already in a rage.
Already in a rage. Probably hadn't had his coffee. Showed up Tuesday morning at a Subway in Wildwood, Florida, of course, and confronted a male employee with his bread beef. During a brief verbal interaction, McIntosh suddenly struck the worker across the left side of the face with an open hand.
Bitch slapped him.
Gave him the Rick James. He said, Doc,
This is
everyone.
crazy.
I'm Rick James, bitch. And then boom, right upside the head. When a responding officer spoke with the victim, the cop observed visible redness and slight swelling to the left side of his face, consistent with being struck. Now, is he a sandwich pimp? Did he put the baby powder in the hand before he smacked the kid? That's what I want to know. Did he give him? Was the pimp hand strong? That's what I need to know before he smacked him over the sandwich.
Oh my.
Gotta know. According to an arrest report, surveillance footage recorded McIntosh striking the worker, who immediately stepped backward in apparent shock.
Yeah, you just wouldn't expect it.
Oh, I would. If he stepped to me and was like, son, come here, let me talk to you about this sandwich. And he's putting the powder in his hand. I know better.
You know it's coming if he's doing the baby powder thing,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
He's powdering up the hand.
Let's brace yourself.
Step way back behind the counter, and I go, can I make you a new one, sir? You know, I don't mess with him.
No.
No. A witness who was seated in a restaurant booth told cops that the 6'2", 240-pound suspect.
Wow.
Yeah, you're lucky he didn't ball up and hit you. He just
should have drafted him for the Vikings.
That's right. That's your number one draft pick right there.
I think so.
The guy who comes in and pimp slaps you over a sandwich. That's the guy.
We're going to get him real mad. We're going to say, if you don't win, stale bread. That's what you get. You win, fresh bread. You ready? Let's go.
That's what you feed him before every game, stale bread. And then you send him out and play the game. Let's go.
Oh.
He became verbally upset and slapped the victim across the face before exiting the business. Ooh, he made a statement. Give me stale bread.
Slap and then walk out.
That's right. Police subsequently tracked down McIntosh, who lives about 3 miles from the Subway outlet. That's an angry walk.
3 miles. That's, yeah. He got his steps in like that other guy. Everybody's getting a good workout today.
They are. He reportedly confessed to striking the sandwich artisan. I love that they call Subway workers sandwich artisans.
No, yes.
You're such an artisan, you wouldn't have gave him stale bread. You would have fresh loaf.
That's the art, Tim, to make the stale bread still appealing.
Oh, to make it edible?
Mm-hmm.
Claiming that the victim intentionally gave him old stale bread on a sandwich he purchased a week earlier.
Oh, it wasn't even. What?
He let that shit fester. He was like, "Rrr."
That's crazier than being mad that you got a sandwich and you took a bite and it's a week later, you're still mad?
He festered over that. He paced the apartment.
Wow.
He was like, give me a stale sandwich, give me a stale sandwich, give me a stale sandwich. You know, he was going over it in his mind.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna run up on him. No, I'm gonna walk up to him. You know, he was rehearsing it.
I'll slap him and I'm gonna walk out. Yeah. Wow, that is wild aggression and such a weird thing to be angry about for a full week.
He's going to be like, you gave me a stale sandwich, I'm going to give you a fresh one. And then he walked out. Yeah. You got to get the line right, Jess, before you walk out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. This is why he gave it to him. Oh, well, then I don't blame him.
Oh.
Are you ready for this?
Okay.
McIntosh claimed that when he confronted the worker, he just began to laugh, which caused him to strike the victim. See, some people got
that was the wrong answer.
Yeah. Rather than, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Is there something I can do? Can I get you store credit? I'm sorry you got stale bread.
Yeah.
My pain is your pain. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah, I like that. My pain is your pain. Your pain is my pain.
Your pain is my pain. My taste buds are your taste buds. No, that's too far. But but pain is your pain.
Your tongue is my tongue.
Oh, that sounds like they're making up. But just allow me to do something for you. Yeah. Allow me to remake the sandwich for you. Oh, that's even better. Allow me to.
Yeah, that'd been the right answer. Laughing was the wrong answer. Okay.
Let's go. You ate it? Sucker! Then bang. Yeah, you're going to get one of those.
Yeah.
McIntosh was booked into the county jail on battery, of course. He was released from custody after posting how much bond for beating up an artisan?
Oh, it has to be pretty low.
Yeah,
we're in Florida, right?
Yeah, we're in Florida. Yeah.
500.
You're close.
Yeah. Under 1,000.
You're right there.
Yeah, right around 1,000? 1,500?
It's 1,000. It's 1,000.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Subway beat fresh. $1,000 on that misdemeanor charge. Court records do not further identify the type of sandwich that McIntosh ordered, although that would have been funny if they would have wrote it in the report, and whether the bread in question was of the foot-long variety or if it was just a 6-inch. But that would be nice.
We need the details.
Right. Because did somebody else get it as well? Because, when it's a 6-inch, they cut it in half and they give the other half to somebody else.
Yeah. Double the insult if it was like a 12-inch, though. Like, here's your 12 inches of staleness.
That's a great album name. 12 inches of staleness. Wonderful, Jess. As with most things of interest in Sumter, Marion, and Lake counties, I don't know what that is. I don't know why they put that line in there. We'll strike that from the record. Strike that from the record, Jess. I don't know why, but we'll strike that from the record. All right, our next story has to do with. Oh, are we on? We're on not safe for work territory already.
Get out of here. Are we already?
Already? Yes. We're moving
Well, we've
along.
been making it not safe for work the whole time.
Oh, we probably should have put that last story in not safe for work.
The whole episode, not safe for work.
I know. Let's rewind. All right. We've been in not safe for work territory the entire episode. How do you feel? Pretty good? Yeah. All right.
Been pretty funny.
It's time now for not safe for work. In this, we need you to escort the kiddies out of the room. I don't know, maybe put on an old episode of Mr. Rogers for them. That's always wholesome. They'll learn something, I miss Mr. Rogers.
I loved him.
Such good, wholesome stuff.
Sometimes I feel like Mr. Rogers. I literally just said this the other day to my kids. I come inside from being outside and I immediately change out my shoes for my slippers and take off my coat and put on my little house sweater.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. Do you have a little trolley that runs around the house?
Oh, I wish.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's time to get one.
I think I need one.
Would it scare Phoebe Buffet if you had one?
No, she's not afraid of that little vacuum that runs around the house and cleans for me. So I think she'd be fine with it.
Maybe you should put a little trolley housing around the vacuum.
Yes, the vacuum will be my trolley.
There you go. You're on your way. Start calling you Mrs. Rogers from now on. Oh, that makes you sound like you're married to Aaron Rodgers, and that's horrible.
Oh, call me Miss Rogers to you.
All right, Miss Rogers to me. And as far as your boss goes, send him on vacation, and we'll get going with not safe for work in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Starting out with a bang, almost literally. $1 million prostitute. A sub is caught acting erratically in a Lake County classroom.
What?
Yeah, that's the headline. Angela Jordan faces charges of disorderly conduct. What was she doing in Central Florida, you may ask? Yes, we're staying in Florida. Seems like we never left. We go to Lake County, Florida, where a substitute teacher at Lake Mineola High School was arrested on Monday after she was caught acting erratically in class, according to the Lake County Sheriff's Office. In a case report, deputies said the incident happened at around 10:20 a.m. when a school resource deputy received a Centegix staff alert. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds intriguing. Upon,
Wow.
I know, right? Did you ever have one of those when you were teaching?
No, never heard of it.
No, isn't it intriguing? Upon arrival to the classroom, the deputy found the sub identified as Angela Faith Jordan. You know they're interesting when the middle name is Faith. Yelling incoherently, stating that they should put her in prison for life. You know, when they start yelling
Wow.
that, there's something wrong.
What have you done?
We're about to find out. Investigators said they learned that before their arrival, Jordan had been yelling, slamming her hands on a desk, making inappropriate statements to students, and twerking in the classroom.
Ooh, that's illegal right there.
Yeah, don't stop. Get it, get it. Yeah, girl. This included telling students that she would engage in sexual activity with them and referring to herself as $1 million prostitute.
Wow.
I
You
doubt
go, girl.
the word prostitute came out. Probably $1 million hoe, right?
I prefer call. I think if you're $1 million, you're a call girl,
I think so. Yeah,
right? It's a little more classy.
you have to class it up. Yeah. Assistant Principal Panette entered and instructed Ms. Jordan to gather her belongings and leave the classroom. Listen here, $1 million hoe. You want to gather your stuff and let's go.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to want to tone down the twerk on our way out. Yeah.
She twerked the whole way to her car.
Yeah, she's like,
just bouncing down the hallway.
I'm not twerking. I'm just trying to find my keys. The report reads, Ms. Jordan refused, stating that she did not want to be tasered.
What?
Yeah.
Kind of a leap. Please leave. Don't taser me.
Don't taser me. Jordan continued refusing to leave, prompting the deputy to restrain her and escort her to the front office.
Oh my.
Now, you know, when they're asking you to leave and she's like, I don't want you to taser me. No. Don't you think you're going to get tasered at that point?
I mean, you're kind of asking for it.
You kind of. Yeah.
They weren't thinking about it before, but now they're like, oh, shoot, maybe we need to.
Like, that's an option.
Huh.
Yeah. We were thinking shooting you, but tasering, okay. Yeah, we can start.
Tasers work.
Yeah, that's a start. Meanwhile, investigators said they spoke with the victim who claimed that Jordan had battered her. So there's a crime here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She battered a kid and offered to have sex with everyone. And what a day.
Little BDSM involved here, you know? You got to start small. As the bell rang and students began exiting, it says here red acted. It must be a student. So
okay.
Red acted. Stated she was among the last to leave when Ms. Jordan yelled at her, called her a derogatory name, and placed her hands on Red Acted's head and the back of her neck before moving her hand towards Red Acted's throat. Oh boy. Yeah. The case report further reveals that Jordan has a history of bipolar disorder, and her outburst in the classroom indicated a possible mental health episode. You think?
I mean, it's either that or she's on something. That is some crazy, whacked out stuff.
Right. In-body camera footage obtained by News 6, Jordan is heard claiming that she had had previously been tasered by law enforcement in Pine Hills. I think that's why she's like, "Don't taser me, please."
Yeah, she's been there.
I've been there, done that. Didn't like the feeling. But no details have been released about whether Jordan actually has a criminal history. Now, Jordan faces misdemeanor charges of disorderly conduct, simple battery, and 2 counts of disruption of a school function. News 6 reached out to the district for comment. The district response was as follows. Good afternoon. We are aware of the arrest. Parents have been notified. The substitute teacher was hired on February 4th of 2025, and employment was terminated as of today. Pretty short and to the point.
Yep. What else are you going to say? We know what happened.
Yeah, they didn't really want to, say too much about her.
Let's not get into it.
Yeah, they weren't like, well, she was great in the lounge, but then when she got up on the table and started twerking for the staff, we thought, maybe not a great hire. Yeah. Lake County School Board Chair Bill Mathias said he was informed of the situation immediately and commended the students for how they handled the incident. In other words, thanks for not throwing your lunch money at her when she started twerking. Appreciate it. Thanks, kids. That was very moving to me, Mathias said, noting students appeared to respond with sensitivity to what they believed was a mental health issue. What did they do? Start handing her cards for their therapist?
Oh,
They're like, oh, here, Miss Jordan. Here, you're probably going to need this after you're done getting tasered. You're probably going to want a place to go to talk about it. So there you go. Matthias also pointed to the district's You Are Not Alone program, which places mental health specialists at every high school. See, I told you they handed the therapist card to the teacher. He said those resources are available to staff, including substitute teachers, which she's probably going to need one. So there you go. That's the end of that story.
that's a wild one.
Speaking of needing a little help, you may have heard about the rumors going around about Katy Perry.
I have heard a couple things that are weird.
Turns out she's a sex pest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I've heard.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right. Well, it turns out there's a creepy clip of Katy Perry groping Justin Bieber,
Oh,
and it's resurfaced. I just found this an interesting story, so we'll just go over it briefly.
okay.
Katy Perry is facing renewed scrutiny online after older concert and backstage clips have resurfaced, sparking debate across social media. The renewed attention comes after actress Ruby Rose publicly accused Katy Perry of misconduct stemming from an alleged 2010 incident, which, by the way, is a small crime. As the Daily Mail reported, the viral footage, believed to be from a 2012 appearance at Capital FM's Summertime Ball in London, shows Perry groping Justin Bieber, who was 18 at the time. Just barely legal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's better than when he was like 14.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that's for sure. In one moment, Katy Perry appears to place her hand on Justin Bieber's backside while playfully mouthing, "Sorry, Selena," toward the camera, a reference to Selena Gomez, who was dating Bieber at the time.
Oh my.
Yeah. Another resurfaced clip shows Katy Perry interacting with a teenage fan during her set. In the footage, the fan introduces himself as Robert, as Perry asks him a series of questions, including, "Are you nervous and staying in school?" After he responds, she tells him, "That's good. You're going to be really popular on Monday."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Interesting. The moment continues as Perry asks, "This is going to be awkward in front of your father in the audience. Have you ever been kissed?" After Robert shakes his head no, she leans in to kiss him on the lips while the crowd reacts.
Wow.
Yeah, told you. A little bit of a
I
sex
mean, if
pest.
a guy was doing that, people would be like,
They would hang him in the town square by his neck.
yeah, yeah.
In fact, I think they have that guy. His name is R. Kelly, and he's in jail now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was, well, the incident I heard about was the one you mentioned at the beginning, with the 2010 one when they were at a party and I mean, it's gross. I don't even want to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit of a grabby, right?
No, it was like she put her privates on someone's face.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was that one too. Yeah. But there was
no, thank you.
there was the undercarriage incident too. Yeah, there was I didn't want to mention that one, but you did.
Hey, that's the one that stuck in my brain. So you're welcome, guys.
Well, hey, you put it out there. It was yours to put out there.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. The clip shows the teen appearing hesitant and pulling back after he got the kiss, avoiding the kiss. Perry keeps the interaction going, telling him, "Honey, you might be too young to understand this, but when a woman kisses you, you got to kiss her back."
No, that's molesting him in front of everyone.
Right. Robert then approaches and gives her a quick kiss on the cheek, with Perry playfully joking before wrapping up the moment. She then references her husband at the time, Russell Brand, telling the audience he was there to surprise me before the fan exits the stage. You know, now that we look at stuff in hindsight, maybe there's a reason Russell Brand got rid of her.
Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah. So the resurfaced interaction has since become a part of the broader online discussion surrounding the singer. Several users blasted Katy Perry, with one writing, "She's always been grabby in the past, perhaps, or probably thinking it was cool and hot. It wasn't and still isn't. She's creepy and gross."
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Another added, how embarrassing, while a third declared career ending, or should it be? Some comments took it an even harsher tone, with one person writing, she is sickening and needs to go. This should be the last nail in her coffin. She is abusive. While another claimed, oh, I think everyone would like to see her taken down, silenced. But not everyone agreed with the backlash. A handful of users defended the singer, arguing the moment was being blown out of proportion. She was just being silly and outrageous. Stop trying to convict her to something she is unlikely to be. Ruby Rose, by the way, did speak out on that incident.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can get to that comment here. So Ruby Rose said she was prompted to speak out after seeing the post of her attending Justin Bieber's Coachella set, of Katy Perry attending it. She just said, Katy Perry sexually assaulted me at Spice Market nightclub in Melbourne. Who gives a shit what she thinks, is what she says.
Oh.
I think she's a little angry. She alleged that, and rightfully so, she alleged that after the incident, she tried to downplay what happened by reframing it as a funny little drunk story, saying that she didn't know how else to process it at the time. Rose also claimed that Perry later offered to help her with securing a U.S. visa, which she said factored into the decision not to speak out sooner. According to Rose, she had previously attempted to hint publicly that Perry was not a good person, but alleged those efforts were dismissed and instead led to backlash directed at her. And of course, Katy Perry, in all fairness, has denied the allegations against her. So we should report that for you.
That's why we keep saying allegedly. We don't want to get sued.
Allegedly. Right. Allegedly. You have to keep bringing that up. Allegedly. Okay. Our next story. Literally, if you thought Katy Perry was in deep shit, this next person is in deep shit.
Oh, really? It's worse?
It's worse. Although this might be the literal deep shit. I don't know that there's actual charges in this one, but it's a funny story nonetheless.
Okay.
So I figure I'd throw this in here as a change up, and then we'll get back to the stories. The headline in this one is funny enough, Jess. In deep shit, tourist stuck in excrement for hours after pit toilet collapses in the Australian outback.
Oh, no, thank you.
Right? And this is a regular thing, I guess.
It happens?
It happens in the Australian outback. I love our listeners in Australia, but how do you folks put up with this? I need emails. I need to
understand.
I need to understand this. The woman who was visiting the Henbury meteorite crater near Alice Springs was left feeling shaken by the ordeal. What started as a routine trip to the bathroom ended in horror after a long drop toilet collapsed in the Northern Territory, stranding a tourist waist deep in excrement for several hours before she was rescued by a tradesman. The woman
I would die. I'm dying. I can hardly listen to this.
I know, right? But there's more. Come on, Jess, there's more.
Okay.
The woman who was visiting the Henbury meteorite crater about 120 kilometers south of Alice Springs with her partner and two children from Canberra, entered the long drop toilet on Sunday afternoon and didn't emerge for 3 hours. Long drop toilets are unlike traditional modern latrines. They use a deep dug out pit to collect waste, typically connected to a squatting pan or toilet seat. They are common in remote areas. According to NT WorkSafe, which is investigating the accident, initial inquiries indicated that the toilet fell into the sewage pit, taking the tourist with it. So, right? NT WorkSafe has been notified of an incident where a tourist fell into a sewage pit at the Henbury Meteorites Conservation Zone, the agency said in a statement. The notification was made by the agency with management of the conservation zone as a collapse or partial collapse of a structure, which is a dangerous incident under the work health and safety laws. Boy, I'll say that's a health hazard. A witness who spoke to NT News on the condition of anonymity said the visitor was in deep shit, standing up to her waist in waist. That's a quote, was in deep shit. That was filed on the report. Yep.
Literally.
They told the outlet, and this is a quote, Jess. I'm not paraphrasing here. There's shit, literal nappies, piss, all in that hole.
Literal nappies.
Literal nappies. The witness, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, literal nappies are diapers, right?
Yeah. It sounds cute when you say it that way.
It's diapers. The witness said the woman's partner had driven up the highway in a bid to find phone reception and get help when the tradie happened by. He was able to lower a tow rope into the hole far enough for the woman to stand on it, the witness said, and used his car to lift her out. They said the process took an agonizing 45 minutes.
Oh, no. That is so bad.
Imagine being trapped in the shit for 45 minutes while they try to pull a rope.
No. I'm claustrophobic, so even like if I'm in bed and the blankets are over my feet and the dogs lay on the outside of me, I can't freaking handle it because I can't move my legs out. So I can't imagine like being stuck in poop.
Yes. That's why I can't have big dogs sleep in bed with me. I can't do it. Can't do it. That exact same reason. I can't do it.
I'm glad I'm not alone. My husband thinks it's crazy. I'm just like, I'll start to hyperventilate. I'm like, Phoebe, get away from my feet.
Right.
Got to get on the other side. I need my freedom.
Right. The woman was unhurt except for a few cuts and was feeling, but those can fester
with poop in them.
Bacteria, yeah.
I mean, think about this. If somebody doesn't wash their hands, and this happened to us once when we went to a place that made burgers and we got violently ill because of fecal matter. That's the only way you get it. We got food poisoning from someone not washing their hands and having just a tiny little bit of poop, like under a nail or something. Imagine being in a bunch of people's poop for 3 hours.
You get a staph infection easily.
Yeah.
And it's a limb. The woman was unhurt except for a few cuts and was feeling understandably shaken, the witness said. According to NT News, she was taken to Alice Springs Hospital. Images of the outhouse provided to Guardian Australia by the local blogging site Action for Alice shows the site cordoned off with caution tape. This won't feature in tourism brochures, the blogging site wrote. Somebody's in a lot of shit for this one. Pardon the pun. It isn't the first time a long drop toilet has caused problems. In 2024, Country Fire Authority crews were called to a property near Wodonga in Victoria after a man became stuck in one in the dead of night. It took about an hour to get him out. An hour.
Oh, I'm just never using one of those. Just wear a diaper when you go to these places.
I'd hate to say go outside, but
yeah, just pee behind a bush. Wow, that's terrible. That is a new fear. Thank you.
There you go. Falling in a long drop toilet in Australia.
New fear activated.
There you go. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We're going to Bothell, Washington for our next story, which I found ironically delicious and funny. If you're ready for this, a new type of discrimination has been found. Even though there's no reason to have discrimination is not even on the table in this when you hear the evidence in this case. Bothell police detail what they found after raiding a massage parlor or massage parlors in Bothell, Washington. Although the people who were raided say it's discrimination. The Bothell Police Department is they're detailing some of the evidence discovered during a raid of 5 massage parlors in downtown Bothell. I know, hotbed of sexual activity in Bothell, Washington. It comes as the department faces new criticism over the decision to conduct the raids from advocates who have called the action discriminatory. Bothell Police Captain of Investigations Mike Johnson says multiples of these businesses were found with new and used condoms as well as a large amount of lubricant. Welcome to Diddyland.
Oh.
Right? Oh, it's even worse, Jess. Johnson said I find it funny that the detective, his name is Johnson, when he found lubricants and condoms all over the place. When they hit the rooms with the alternate light source, are you ready for this, Jess? There was an incredible amount of human bodily fluid around the establishment.
Oh, no, gross.
So we have our evidence. Are you ready for this?
Oh.
In one case, police were met at the door of one of the establishments by a female worker who was nude. More evidence.
What?
Yeah. In this location, law enforcement officers learned they had just interrupted a sex act in progress. So there's plenty of evidence, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's discrimination. I think you're just straight up busted.
Right. We spoke to the male participant who, post Miranda rights, admitted that he was engaged in that after agreeing to money, Johnson said. And the female also agreed that that's what had happened. So they agreed they had exchanged money for sex, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So pretty standard bust going on here. In another location, officers were met by a female worker in lingerie. It is not clear at which parlors the specific evidence was discovered. It's also not clear if the parlors are connected in any way. The parlors were initially closed last week due to fire code violations separate from the investigation into prostitution and human trafficking because the fire department was on scene during the raids. The violations were observed and stop work notices were placed. The new details were released Monday after a group of advocates for Asian massage workers spoke out against the raids. I'm going to post this story because the protest is one of the funniest things you'll see in your life. Claiming the action was rooted in anti-Asian discrimination.
I don't understand how they can even say that. That's such a far stretch.
They caught them in the act.
Yeah.
Took the black light, put it all over the place. There's fluid everywhere.
And she came to the door naked. Like,
The door naked.
come on.
There's more lubricant than a ditty party.
Oh.
But yet, it's anti-Asian discrimination. The group of advocates is not directly linked with the businesses that were shut down, but said they had attempted outreach and made contact with some of the workers. So the group that's screaming anti-Asian discrimination has nothing to do with the massage parlors.
Strange.
Yeah. There's an organizer named Lee who said that they were reading a statement on behalf of the International Migrants Alliance, and they're reading it off their phone in the video.
Gosh.
I've seen this before. I've seen this from videos here in Minneapolis. They said, you're patting your own back for solving fabricated issues based on your own sexist, racist ideas, and Asian massage workers are paying the price. A woman ran out naked.
And literally said she was paid for sex.
Right. And admitted to giving sex to a guy and being paid for it. There was lubricant everywhere.
Or do they just want to be outraged just for the sake of being outraged? I don't even understand what they're upset about. It seems like busting these type of places is probably protecting women because I have to think it has to be some sort of sex trafficking situation a lot of times.
Yes, completely. It's complete.
Huh.
The organizer said the police raids made it more dangerous for immigrant workers who might be employed in these businesses, and also criticized the licensing process that they said discriminates against Asian workers. Oh, come on.
Wow, weird.
One organizer alleged egregious acts of police misconduct in the execution of the search warrants in Bothell, specifically claiming there was no reading of Miranda rights. I don't know about that.
I mean, I can't say if they read them their rights or not, but at the end of the day, it wasn't discriminatory. It was, hey, this is illegal in America. We can't do this here.
Yeah. Last I checked, in the Seattle area, it wasn't legal to have prostitution going on in a massage parlor.
I mean, go to Vegas, right? You can do that in that area, right? It's legal there.
That's right. There's one quote in the video you'll see. KIRO 7 is the news agency that's reporting. They spoke with a couple that runs 2 of the massage parlors, and they vehemently denied any wrongdoing. Of course, they're not going to say, "Yeah, we did it." Not going to do that. But I believe it is Lee Weezu or Weezo, who's the owner of one of the massage parlors. He said, if you want to find or arrest any real criminal or any human trafficking or any prostitution, you can go to Epstein Island.
Oh, I don't think anyone's there anymore, but
there's no one there. So yeah, it's kind of an old
fair
story.
point. Let's get those people too. I agree.
Yeah, let's get
all
them
of them.
Right. But there's no one there anymore. So
yeah,
it's a wild goose chase. Unlike you guys, which they caught red-handed. So,
way to deflect.
Yeah. Why don't you just go try and find somebody from the 1920s too? That's kind of fun. All right, our next story. How many wild bachelorette parties have you been to in your day?
I've been to quite a few bachelorette parties. I don't know how wild they got.
Ever done any public property damage?
No.
No? There was one in Italy that got out of control this past weekend.
Uh-oh. What'd they do?
I'll tell you this much. They did so much, or I shouldn't say so much damage, but they did what could have been potentially historical damage.
Oh, no.
In Florence, yeah. We'll put it this way. They got a little drunk. They went out, had a little drinky, right? A little sippy, and then they tried to get some Neptune dick.
Oh. As one does.
As one does
in Italy.
In Italy, and a little drunk. Tourists' pre-wedding challenge damaged a historic Florence statue. It's this one right here, Jess, out there in that fountain.
Okay.
Florence, Italy.
Yeah.
Right
so it's a naked man, right? Okay.
See how his twig and berries are hanging out there?
Yeah. Did they try to rip them off?
Tried to get a feel. Try to cop a feel. Wanted to get in the fountain. She didn't want to get wet. I'll explain in the story here in a second. But yeah.
He's huge. I mean, height-wise.
Height-wise, yeah. I don't know about... Well, here, let's zoom in again. Let's see if we can
his nut and berries look a little tiny compared to the giantness of him.
You see, he's not really... Wow, the camera's really getting in there. Look at that.
All right. I can see if I was intoxicated and someone said, get up there and cop a feel, I'd be like, all right,
I'll grab it. Because what do you think? It's right. Whoa, it's really getting in there.
Yeah. Zooming right in.
It really is. It really wants you to see it. What do you think as far as real time, real feel? How big do you think it is? Do you think it's probably 2 feet? No, I mean a foot. You think it's probably 6 inches? I mean, I don't know.
I don't even think you could reach that, though. He's so tall. I mean, you'd be really reaching up there.
I mean,
you'd have to climb his thighs.
That's exactly what she did.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, she jumped. She tried to jump over the water and get on his thighs in order to get up there. So, a tourist has caused thousands of dollars in damage to a 16th century monument in Florence, Italy, after climbing on it during a bachelorette party, according to authorities. The 28-year-old woman, whose name and nationality have not been publicly disclosed, climbed the Fountain of Neptune in the Piazza della Signoria on Saturday in the city of Florence, according to a statement. The Fountain of Neptune was commissioned in 1559 by Cosimo I de' Medici, the Duke of Florence. I should have just said Duke of Florence, to mark the marriage of his son Francesco and the Grand Duchess Joanna of Austria. The fountain features a statue of the Roman sea god Neptune atop a shell-shaped carriage pulled by horses. The woman was immediately spotted by police, who told her to get out of the fountain, according to officials, of course. The woman allegedly told officers that she had entered the fountain by climbing over a railing and the edge of the basin, then onto the legs of the figure of a horse to avoid stepping into the water.
Wow.
That's pretty ingenious for having had a few too many drinks.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like she's done some rock climbing classes or something.
I think so. The statement read, her intention was to touch the private parts of the statue for a sort of pre-wedding challenge. It's like wedding Survivor,
I guess.
right?
I mean, just get down below and you can position yourself underneath of it and have someone take a picture at, just the right angle. So it looks like you're touching it, but you don't actually have to touch it.
Like you're cradling
Yeah,
Neptune's
like you're holding those little nut and berries in your hands.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to. You just look like you are.
Yeah.
Or, kind of do one of these. You don't have to, right?
Yeah.
Investigators later found that the woman had caused small but significant damage to the legs of the horse that she'd walked on, as well as to is it frieze that she had grabbed onto to avoid slipping, which cost 5,000 euros or $5,845 to repair.
Wow.
That's an expensive bachelorette party. The young woman was reported to the judicial authority for defacing an artistic and architectural asset. Officials added that the woman is to be presumed innocent until a final judgment by the judicial authority. I wonder if she has to do jail time for this deal. This is not the first time that a badly behaved tourist has been linked to damage to the fountain. In 2023, a 22-year-old German man was accused of damaging the statue after climbing on it as two friends took photos of him. Why can't people leave Neptune alone? What's the deal?
Grow up. This is so ridiculous.
Just because he's hanging out in the town square doesn't mean you take a shot at his nuts. The statue was previously damaged in 2005 when someone climbed on it and broke Neptune's hand. This prompted the authorities to install security cameras.
Why are we so stupid?
I don't know. Why can't you just appreciate it for what it is? It's Neptune.
It's just a work of art.
Yeah. Leave Neptune alone. By God, 2 more stories here, and then we're off to our palate cleanser. But they're 2 of the most entertaining stories I think we've had all day. What do you think of Aldi grocery stores, Jess?
I don't mind them. I don't seek them out, but every now and then I'll go to one.
Can I give you purely a personal opinion? No offense, Aldi, but every Aldi grocery store I've ever been in has been dirty.
Yeah. I tend to lean toward Trader Joe or Trader Joe's. I always say it wrong. Yeah.
I don't know why, but the seafood smells really bad in them. And the floors are always dirty in Aldi. So I don't go shopping there. And half the time the Aldi's going to write me. Someone from Aldi is going to write me and be like, what? What stores have you been in? I'll list them for you if you write me. Tim at Darkness.
And I'm just going to say allegedly.
Allegedly. Yes. Allegedly. And it seems like the produce is always half rotten. But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to have people write me and go, I love Aldi. I shop at Aldi all the time.
Yeah, people do. People really, really love it. I've just never found it to be that great. I mean, like I said, I've maybe gone into an Aldi like 5 times my whole life. Yeah. And once it was looking for a squishy for my daughter, like a squishy toy.
See, I 3 or 4 times, but those 3 or 4 times, every time I've gone in there, it's been dirty. I've just said, I have an aversion to it. I won't go in there. But see, that's Aldi America. I hear Aldi Europe is wonderful.
Oh, well, everything in Europe is better. I mean, let's be honest. Their food is better for them. Their candy tastes better.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I'm being as fair as I can. But there's something about Aldi America that turns me off. Evidently, there's something about Aldi America that turns on a Missouri man.
Oh, turns him on.
Turns him on because he was dancing naked in an Aldi grocery store.
Well, now you know why it's so dirty in the aisles.
Right. Now I know why it's so dirty in the aisles of an Aldi grocery store. We go to Columbia, Missouri, where a Missouri man is accused of dancing naked in an Aldi grocery store earlier this month. He now faces criminal charges. Prosecutors in Boone County have charged 41-year-old Sidney Jones of Columbia, Missouri, with 1 misdemeanor count of first-degree sexual misconduct. According to a Columbia Police Department probable cause statement around 6:30 p.m. on April 18th, police responded to a report of a naked man dancing in the vestibule of an Aldi store. The probable cause statement did not disclose a specific location. A witness told police that multiple children were present in the store and adults tried to hide their children and prevent them from seeing the man, later identified as Jones. Surveillance video reviewed in the case shows Jones parking a vehicle, walking into the vestibule, taking off his clothes, then dancing inside and outside the vestibule, according to the probable cause statement. Additional court documents state that Jones is now banned from all Aldi locations and was booked into jail without bond. If that's what's going to take for me to get banned from Aldi, then by God, I'm getting naked this afternoon and going into Aldi's vestibule.
I'll be there with my camera.
Great. Let's film it for the website, shall we?
I feel like we'd go viral.
You
It
think?
could be good for the show.
I'll pirouette like a little ballet dancer as they throw my ass out, my big ass out.
Oh, God.
And then as I get thrown out of Aldi, my naked ass gets thrown out of Aldi, I'll yell, "I'm just as dirty as your store."
Uh,
And that would be that, Jess. All right. And finally, today on Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals, you know, it doesn't matter how old we get as men, we're all still in the third grade. And it will continue until we die.
Yeah.
And the Finnish Air Force has now proven that.
How?
Well, Finnish Air Force pilots have now been disciplined for drawing genitalia in the sky. We can't help it. It's in our DNA. Give us a giant airplane, give us a little trail of smoke, and ask us what we could draw in the sky if we could draw anything. And we'd say, giant dick. Why not? The Finnish Air Force confirmed cadets on a training flight were disciplined for using their flight patterns to create the shape of male genitalia in the sky.
I mean, that takes some talent. I'm impressed.
I don't know how
Sky
much.
art.
Just have to make a giant dick shape.
Depends. Was it circumcised or uncircumcised? One is going to be harder to draw.
That's true. Yes. Cadets in the, and then you got to get the balls in there. Too. I mean, that's an extra loop, isn't it? Cadets in the Air Force Reserve Pilot Course engaged in the training exercises April 13th after taking off from Tikakoski. The flight radar tracking service showed at least 4 of the planes followed flight patterns that created the shapes of penises. Congrats, guys. Air Force representatives confirmed the pilots were disciplined for their actions. Really? I mean, the Air Force requires soldiers to follow good manners and rules of conduct. And if these are deviated from, it will be responded to in an appropriate manner, a spokesperson told news outlet YLE. The spokesperson said there was no danger to other air traffic during the exercise, although that would have been hilarious if there would have been a near collision.
Oh, gosh.
Because they're up there writing sky dicks.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
The aircraft remained in the training area assigned to the flight mission and performed the exercises given in the flight mission assignment. The aircraft did not deviate from their route. They should get a small medal for that then.
I mean, they didn't. They stayed on course. They just happened to leave a little trail that looked like a weenie.
That was so cute how you said that. They completed the mission. They just drew little sky weenies. And then they came back.
Oh.
They should get a medal.
No big deal.
Big deal. No big whoop. All right, with that, it's time now for our palate cleanser. First, we'll start with the bad day at work. Then we'll end with a story that may warm your heart.
Okay.
6 of one, half dozen of another, right, Jess?
Mm-hmm.
We all have our bad days at work, right? But you'll never have a day that will be a bigger pain in the ass than the day that this man had. And I mean that literally.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Jess.
What happened to his ass?
Well, the king of bullfighters left seriously injured after the bull's 10-centimeter gore perforated his rectum.
no. Oh, his rectum.
Rectum damn near killed him.
Oh no. I would have felt better if he just got speared in the butt cheek, but like, oh my God. Ooh, right in
Such
there.
a thing as
Ooh.
karma. At least that's what some people online said. There's such a thing as karma. Jose Antonio Morante Camacho, dubbed the King of Bullfighters by some publications, has reportedly suffered a very serious injury after a bull gored him, as a medical report revealed an injury to his rectum.
Almost like he was asking for it.
Someone wasn't living right with God. You know what I mean? Wait till I tell you what the name of this bull is. It's one of those stories where you read it and you go, ooh, and then you go, ooh, and then you go, ooh, and then you go, hmm, 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 hmm. Um, I find this story fascinating. I really do. You know, bullfighters are an interesting lot. You know, we've shamed them over the last couple of decades because it's considered an animal rights type violation, right?
Right.
They're
Yeah.
cruel to the bull. Although when you consider what could happen to the actual bullfighter, you go, is it really cruel though?
I mean, who is it really cruel to?
Right. I
The
mean,
bullfighter.
when you consider, okay, so this particular bullfighter had fought 4 fights that day.
My goodness.
It was his 4th fight. So when you consider that he was out there for 4 fights, and you ask yourself, okay, but how long is a bullfight for, right? And he's out there with a cape. I think they still give him swords, if I remember right.
So do they actually like hurt the bull, or is it more like, here's my cape, na 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 na, and then you like pull it away?
I think it's just the cape mainly, but the sword is there for emergencies, if I remember right.
Okay.
They don't actively, I don't think they actively stab as they go by. So it used to be that the sword was there. It used to be in the old days of fighting, if I remember right. Again, I could be wrong, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. It used to be the sword was there to stab and enrage them, so they would come back and run at the
Oh,
cape. So it was
yeah.
cruel and unusual at one time, right? But I don't think that's the case any longer. They see the red of the cape and it's supposed to enrage them. They do other things to enrage the bull to get them to run at the bullfighter. But I don't think they only stab at the bull now if it's no longer reacting to the cape, I think.
Hmm.
But it's still kind of a cruel and unusual sport.
Yeah. I mean, why do we even have to watch that? That's just, I
Well,
don't know.
again, and it's tradition in Spain, much like,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, you could argue, I mean, we could argue a lot of things like here in America, American football, it's cruel and
Right.
unusual football
Oh,
play.
I've said before, it's like the gladiators, we're just watching people out there literally killing themselves, like shortening their lifespan. But
Right.
don't even get me started.
Right. I mean, there's certain things we still do to this day that we are probably barbaric that we shouldn't do.
Right.
But with this story, a top Spanish bullfighter has suffered an unfortunate injury that is reportedly very serious after a bull's horn. Again, we talked bacteria earlier,
Ew.
and you talk about function afterwards, right?
Oh,
And you think of the speed at which a bull moves.
yeah.
They're very fast creatures, right? Um, it's reportedly very serious after a bull's horn reportedly perforated his rectum after a 10-centimeter gore. Jose Antonio Morante Camacho, better known for his ring name as Morante de la Puebla, was competing with the 4th bull of the afternoon named Clandestino at I believe it is Maestranza Bull Ring in Seville on April 20th. Morante, dubbed by many publications as King of the Bullfighters, he ain't anymore, was competing during the 10th event of the popular April Fair when he was seen being gored by the bull. He was reportedly trying to control the bull when it charged at his chest and knocked him down. Or tried to knock him down. However, as he tried to evade the bull, it appears one of his horns caught him in the buttocks region.
Oh, Tim, I just Googled this and I'm seeing a picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like it.
You see yeah. Let's show the audience.
Don't like it.
There it is right there, kids.
He's
Bingo.
crying.
Bingo.
Oh, this is terrible.
The prison purse. Video footage of the
Oh.
incident shows the bullhorn connect with his buttocks, but the extent of the injury was not visible other than a tear in his pants. That's what she said. He was seen in some distress on the floor and was clutching the area of the injury before fellow bullfighters carried him out of the ring. The top bullfighter had already been injured during the event, with a bull cutting his ear with a minor injury. Marante was rushed to a hospital, and a medical report has revealed the extent of his injuries following a 2-hour surgery. The report said it is a bullhorn wound on the posterior anal margin with a trajectory of about 10 centimeters, partially damaging the anal sphincter muscles, with a perforation on the posterior wall of the rectum of 1.5 centimeters.
Oh, this is so terrible.
His lover's going to be so disappointed. Oh, did I say that? The report added the intervention consisted of washing the wound, repairing the rectal wall in the sphincter apparatus, leaving a suction drain in the postanal and retrorectal space. It's hard for me to even read. The incident has soured the rest of the event, with people now worried for the health of Marante. His health is currently being monitored, according to local reports. Now, Marante did speak from his hospital bed. He had this to say. Ow, 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 ow. No, he had more than that to say. It's a little Jerry Lewis humor. It's called back. He spoke from his hospital bed. He's 46 years old, by the way. By the way, that's a little old to be fighting bulls. I'm not going to lie.
I would think that's retirement age for that.
Yeah. He said in a video shared on Instagram, "I had a rather rough night."
That's an understatement.
I think. But adding insult to the excruciating injury, many of the comments are filled with people taking clandestino side. People commented on his video.
Oh.
Are you ready? This is kind of the fun part. Anna Nicolina posted, "No need to hurt animals. He stood up for himself, and I'm happy he did. You shouldn't do these sports nowadays." People just went after him. I mean,
Yeah, they're like, you were asking for it.
Yeah. Many others wrote simply karma. Marante was, again, injured in Seville on Monday. In a video to his fans, he wrote, I was in immense pain. I felt a lot of fear because I saw the bull had grabbed me, and, well, I thought I was bleeding." Dude, you were bleeding. There's a picture.
That's not an embrace, sir.
That's him in his hospital.
He grabbed me.
He grabbed me, yeah.
He didn't grab you. He speared his
Yeah.
freaking horn up your ass.
He said, "By the time I got to the infirmary and saw that the bleeding was minimal, I relaxed quite a bit, but of course hurt a lot. Without a doubt, it was the most painful goring ever." Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet you look at your wife a whole different way now, don't you? He added, "You're not going to ask her to try anything new from now on, are you?" He added, "I've gone through a pretty normal night of little sleep." He said, "I've got no appetite." I wouldn't either. "And I'm hoping to get through it well, with a little bit of patience." Marante is widely regarded as the premier matador of his generation, and his comeback had garnered sold-out crowds. Oh, this was a comeback he did.
Oh, my goodness. Comeback gone wrong.
Yeah, comeback on wrong. That too. Antonio Lorca wrote in El País, "With unusual speed, the news spread like wildfire throughout the bullfighting world. Not for nothing was the man on the operating table a special figure, the most outstanding bullfighter of the present day and one of the greatest in history. Now he just took it up the ass. No, he didn't. He didn't write that. I wrote that part, but by God.
Well, it's a bad day at work, Tim.
That
right
is
there.
a horrible day at work when you have to take it up the ass like he did. Anyhow. And then a lighter note here, Jess, before we leave people today. A true palate cleanser. A teacher let kindergartners choose their name for a day, and their choices were delightfully unhinged.
Oh,
Now imagine if you could, if you're in kindergarten and your teacher says to you, okay, we're going to wipe your name out of existence. You could change your name. What name do you choose?
I would have been like Flower or something cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably would have changed my name to Superman or Batman. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what was I into in kindergarten? Wonder Woman. I had that Wonder Woman underoos, so I might have gone with Wonder Woman.
I think one of the kids did change their name to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, good choice, kid.
See, kids are on top of it. It's not easy to get a classroom full of wiggly goofball 5 and 6-year-olds to sit through an entire day of instruction in kindergarten. Teachers have to structure routine and get just the right pacing to keep things moving. They also have to know when to dial things back and let kids do what comes naturally and be silly. The best educators have a lot of tricks up their sleeve when it comes to getting kids to laugh, move their bodies, and be ready to focus again on the next assignment. But the teacher that recently came up had a funny idea that really seemed to stick. Teacher Jordan Lake, a popular creator on Instagram and fifth-year kindergarten teacher, recently took to social media to share the results of a fun experiment that he did with his students. Letting students change their name for the day because they're only young once, he titled the reel. In it, he's seen sitting at a desk with a stack of "Hello, my name is" stickers and a Sharpie, bracing himself for the worst.
It's a brave man.
Yeah, he is. In the original clip, which has racked up over 7 million views, he addresses a student who's off camera. "What do you want your name to be for the rest of the day?" Lake asks. "Marshmallow," the child answers.
Yes, I love it.
Of hesitation. "Ochi," the next student says, barely holding in a giggle. "I was thinking in my head, I think Ochi is the perfect name." Okay. "I love that," Lake says. "Do you know what it means?" "It just sounds cute." "I don't know," the student says, seemingly having pulled the name completely out of left field. "Nice to meet you, Ochi," Lake says with his hand over the brand new name tag. There's an entire viral clip in this article. I'll post this as well so you can watch the article with the kids. Perceptive viewers realize it's not necessarily what's not necessarily obvious in the clip, whether the kids pick silly, made up, or mundane names. Being able to choose for themselves and build a new temporary identity for the day was the joy that won't be forgotten anytime soon. People commented things like, "Love this. We used to do this at our nursery school, and it's so empowering. Thanks for the idea. I did this for the day before spring break with third through fifth graders, and they loved it." Another one said, "My first grade teacher and all of his class called me Baby Spice for the entire year. It was awesome. I wrote that name on all my tests and assignments. I will never forget Mr. Schmitty for this."
Cute.
Yeah. They get to be creative and get a little secret spelling and reading lesson. "We all deserve that level of whimsy," someone else said. "We all needed a teacher like you," someone else said. Another person said, "I still remember the day we did this in second grade." I didn't know that this was not a recent phenomenon.
Yeah, we never did anything like that.
Yeah. Another speech therapist said, "I'm a speech therapist who loves this for more than just its cuteness, for which it exceeds the highest level. It also gives kids the chance to step into a new identity for a day. I'd ask each kid what their new persona's personality is like and what their strengths are too." That's an interesting exercise to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of personality are you putting behind it? Not just the name. Another woman says, "I have a daughter whose kinder teacher was willing to call her Strawberry Fields for an entire school year. I still love that teacher."
Cute.
Now, some of the names that were named in the video, I'll tell you in case you don't want to go watch the video, but you just want to know some of the names. Morty. That's an old
Morty.
Heart, yeah. It's a reincarnated Jewish kid, if I've ever heard one. Kipper, Marshmallow, of course, we mentioned. Some kid just named himself Hello. He just saw it right there on the. I am not into originality. Jorby, spelled Jorbee. Shady, evidently an Eminem fan.
Ooh, Slim Shady, yeah.
Foggy. I have to spell this one out for you because it's really original. Bum Bum Kachoom. Spelled Bhum Kachoom.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's brilliant.
Wiggly. Someone just named themselves Wiggly. And then Cindy just named herself Cindy. She just wanted to name Cindy. And then Ochi, Ochy. So that's pretty good.
Adorable.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's your palate cleanser. And we'll post this article so you guys can watch this video because these kids are absolutely adorable. The names they've come up with. So yeah.
Kids are either super cute or super creepy, depending on the scenario.
Yes. Well, I've dreamed about killing you in my sleep thing. It's like, whoa. But then there's the kids that are absolutely super cute.
Yeah, adorable.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So we've got that. Speaking of, I saw my great nephew this weekend, and he's crawling now, but he army crawls like he's a sniper. So I named him Sniper with a diaper.
Cute.
He crawls with the one arm like this.
Yeah.
And then
he can hold his gun with the other.
Yeah, so he can hold his gun with it. Right.
Exactly.
So I'm going to train him on the neighbors. But he doesn't move he's not gotten into using his knees, so he belly crawls.
Aww.
It looks like he's getting ready to set up with a gun. I'm watching him crawl along the floor going, are you okay?
He's remembering a past life, Tim.
Yes, isn't he? And for some reason, he's obsessed with my purple cane. He thinks that's the coolest thing. Yes, I have a purple cane. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I sing Purple Cane to Purple Rain. I'm when I carry my purple cane. But so yeah, he thinks it's the coolest thing ever. He belly crawled across the room to get to my purple cane, which looked really odd. It looked like somebody had shot out his legs and he needed the cane. So I made up my own little personal story. I was like,
oh gosh,
the wounded little kid needs the cane. Yeah, I know I'm sick. I need help. Anyways, what's going on in your world, Jess?
Oh gosh. Just writing. I'm working on a book about haunted and creepy waters called Dark Waters. It's been kind of fun to research. So,
hey, we had a guest on the show at one time named Dark Waters. And he told stories.
Yeah.
We had to get him on again someday. I tried to reach out to Dark Waters.
And
okay, so funny story, and then I'll make this quick. So Dark Waters is on one of those messengers. I won't say which one. I reach out to him and say, hey, it's Tim from Darkness Radio. Want to come back on? I think he thought I was a fake because he's like, you're a fake. I don't think you're real. And then he blocked me. So now I got to reach out to him a different way.
Oh, no. I was going to say we should have him endorse my book. Dark Waters says Dark Waters is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll figure out a different way to reach out to Dark Waters to the show so he can endorse your book.
Is that the name he chose for himself in kindergarten?
Yes, it is. Yes. He's
been running with it ever since.
Yes, he's been running with it ever since.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Just researching and writing, having fun with that.
We'll have to ask him if that was a kindergarten name.
Yeah. Now that you think about it.
Yeah. Kids are like, what do you want? What name do you want? And he's like, I want
Dark Waters.
Dark Waters. They're like, ooh, creepy kid. Maybe you should have a hurricane. All right. Boy, what's going on here at the show? Supernatural News tomorrow with Travis Thorpe.
Fun.
Yeah. And then, oh boy, do we have a good show on Thursday.
You always do.
Did I tell you we're in the middle of Sexy Week here?
No.
We are.
And here I dress like a lumberjack. I didn't know we were supposed to be sexy.
No, that is kind of sexy. Whenever women dress as a lumberjack, it's sexy. So women in plaid, are you kidding? That's a
Really?
oh god, yeah. That's a
Oh,
huge
okay. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, it
well,
kind of
I'm hottie right now then.
yeah, it kind of gives you the, she just stole my plaid shirt after, after a night type vibe. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
It
All right.
gives
Well, I feel we're starting sexy week off right then, fellas. Here you
right.
go. All
Um,
right. So then you got sexy carrying on Wednesday with you and Trap being all sexy.
see,
Ooh.
yeah, Rev's
So what's happening Thursday?
A bit of a daddy, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
see? And then Thursday, we're going sexy squatching. Or not sexy squatching, we're going sexy dog man hunting.
Ooh,
See? That's all I can, that's a hint I can put up.
dog man. He's creepy.
Yeah. But if I said land between the lakes, maybe I've said too much.
So many teases,
I know.
which is also kind of sexy.
It is, isn't it? Big week here. Big week here on the program. So it's just a sexy week all the way around. What I'm doing hosting it, I have no idea.
You're the sexiest beast of all.
I'm the one who's keeping it on the level. I'm the one who's I'm the palate cleanser of this whole thing. Just when you think you're out of control and it's getting too sexy, you just take a look at me and go, "Oh, yeah, okay, I'm fine." Yeah. I'm the one who's keeping you on a level base. All right, folks, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for listening and watching today. I want to thank Jellybean and Julius for sponsoring the program. For Jessica Freeburg, I'm Tim Dennis. Join us again tomorrow for Supernatural News, and thank you so much for tuning in to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.
For more audio and video archives of True Crime Tuesday, intriguing content, fun events, and cool swag, check out darknessradioshow.com. The executive producer of Darkness Radio is Troy Palmer. If you enjoyed today's program, please make sure you like and subscribe. This videocast is copyrighted for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this videocast, including audio, video, descriptions, or accounts of today's show, is prohibited without the consent of Darkness Radio Management. Thank you for watching, and join us tomorrow for Supernatural News with Travis Thorpe.